Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And with me today is a very, very special guest that I have been waiting forever to interview, Mr. Kyle Rittenhouse. How's it going, man?
Hey, Nick, how are you doing? How's your day going?
It's pretty good. Pretty good. I've had nothing special happen at all this morning, but I did take my kids to go get haircuts. So that was an adventure. So what is this? You still got the Zoomer cut under there.
Oh, I need a haircut. I need a haircut bad.
Well, if you're ever in Minnesota, I'll hook you up with my barber, who's definitely not in the cartel. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
So welcome, man. It's kind of surreal talking to you. Obviously, we're gonna get into all this, but like about a year and a couple months ago, you went through something that is it's one of the most harrowing things that anyone can go through, and it was and I'm talking about the trial that most people will never have to deal with, and that is where the entire world is calling you a murderer. And then you get to go and try and tell them that that's not true.
yeah. November 19th, 2021, I was acquitted on all charges. It was
Wait,
long. It was a
yeah.
long journey. It was a long trial. It was exhausting. It was stressful, and the fight's still not over. I'm actually being sued right now, currently.
You're being
Um,
sued right now?
yes, I'm currently being sued.
Oh, is this for the wrongful death suits, or is it something else?
The conspiracy lawsuit.
The conspiracy lawsuit. Why have I not heard
The one
this?
you're talking about. The one you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. So
The family of Anthony Huber is suing me in the Eastern
I
District of
see.
Wisconsin.
Right. Yes. Okay, yeah. So their family is suing you again for this incident in which you were attacked by their son, who I presume you didn't know in any capacity before you're getting hit by a skateboard.
Correct. I didn't know him at all, and he attacked me. He hit me with a skateboard twice. I defended my life.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Look, everybody here watching right now, I'm going to assume, has watched at least a good deal of the trial. They know the whole story about that. I don't really want to focus too much on like what happened with the event, because we saw it. I mean, I saw it, I think the day after it happened, the shooting event, because the internet blows up with this video, right? Of course, it's in the middle of the summer of love. It's right after the Jacob Blake incident, and people are telling me, hey, you got to see what happened here. And I watched it, and I mean, I came to the conclusion right away. I was like, okay, well, this makes sense for a self-defense case. That's what it looked like. So I don't want to like belabor the event and that whole timeline too much. I'm much more concerned about like you, who you were leading up to that, how that event kind of changed you, what's changed since the trial. And I would like to get into the stuff that I'm kind of interested about after that, which is your tour through Conservative Inc. Because I mean, you basically became this I don't want to say poster boy, but kind of this right-wing advertisement that was brought around to different places. At least that's how it kind of looked to me. And it, certainly if it's not how it was, I'd like for you to, we'll get into that. And so I'll kind of like get my perspective on how it looked and the stuff that I was thinking. And I'd love to get your kind of thoughts and opinions around that. And I'd like to just let people get to know you a little bit outside of that guy who defended himself against a bunch of people on one shitty night in Kenosha.
Perfect.
Okay, well, good. And also, because this is broadcast on YouTube and Rumble and Odyssey, there is actually some level of participation from the audience, and they can send in questions. But guys, Kyle has a limited amount of time tonight, so I'm gonna try and somehow filter through some of these questions and comments the best we can to make use of that time. And then I think you've got a video tab open, or I do. No, it's me. It's me. Oh my god. I just heard my own
Did
intro. It
I
was really irritating.
I was like,
Sorry.
"Did I break the internet, Nick?"
No. No, I thought it was coming through your speakers, but it turned out it was on my end. So now I've blamed you for something you didn't do. Weird. How's that feel?
Accusing me, pulling the finger.
Okay. So anyway, let's but like I said, I'll try. I will definitely read all the super chats eventually, but I'll try and filter through what comes through for Kyle before he has to take off tonight. So let's get started though. I don't want to waste any time. Kyle, what the hell? Uh, but so you I do want to get into who Kyle was before this incident, because I feel like you've aged about 100 years in rapid
I feel
succession.
like it.
Um, the Kyle that we saw in this video is a 17-year-old guy, and we've seen a ton of video around it. We've seen you interviewing people on the streets that night of Kenosha. You're walking around, you've got a gun, but you seem very optimistic and bright-eyed. You're out there, you're like, I'm going to help people, I'm a paramedic, which became some sort of issue that we don't need to get into, because I don't, my opinion was never that you were like, no, I'm a licensed paramedic who has all of this thing. It's more like, I've got a med kit and I'm here to help people. But
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever once said I was a paramedic that night. I did say I was an EMT, but I was a lifeguard and I was an EMT cadet.
there you go. Okay. So perfect. That's all clear. We saw that. But tell me about Kyle, like going into this event. You're there, but how do you get there? Because I think a lot of people have questions of, what the hell is this guy doing? Like going to Kenosha that night.
Well, so I was down there cleaning graffiti off the school, helping clean up some of the debris and stuff, and just there in the morning. And then I met with the business owners of the Car Source lot, as we know it, Car Source 2, 1, 2, and 3. Offered my assistance. They originally declined, and then we got a call later that night from Nicholas Smith, who asked us to come down, and the business owner asked him. So we met there. We met the business owners. They thanked us. We watched the business. We put out fires, and then I was attacked later in the night.
Okay, so I got that, but let me rephrase the question. Who is Kyle? Who's doing this? So obviously you're there cleaning off graffiti. Is that something you did normally? Like, is this because it kind of seems like this it's like too perfect. Oh, I'm there doing a community service project, right? Like that's what it kind of looks like. But then, I mean, is that something that you normally did, or do you happen to be doing that? Like, how much investment in the city of Kenosha did you have before the
Well,
night?
Well, I volunteered countlessly. I volunteered at like parades and different things as a police explorer and firefighter cadet. So volunteering was like my nature, and helping people was also part of my nature. And Kenosha was my community. It's where I worked. It's where all my friends lived. It's where I spent 98% of my time. So I went and I volunteered my time to help clean the school, Ruther Central High School, and volunteer.
So this is something that you did a lot. Like you said you're a cadet, and I know of another guy who is in a similar boat. And so I have a quick follow-up question to that. Um, how do you feel now about police work, public works, that sort of career trajectory that you seem to be on? Like you said you're an EMT cadet, and you were you looking into like law enforcement and stuff beforehand? And are you still looking into that? Or did this kind of jade you on that subject a little bit?
Completely jaded me on that subject. I wanted to be a cop before the incident in Kenosha, but I have a lot of friends who are cops now. I see what they deal with. I see how they get treated. I do not want to do that career. I do not want to put up with that bullshit. it's not something I could do, and I thank the people who do it, but I don't blame the people who don't.
Okay, but your decision though is more kind of based on what they have to like. Well, it's kind of like a miniature version for each one of those guys of the treatment that you got, right? Like they're falsely accused, they're put through the ringer. Every single action is put under a microscope. It's more of like that is kind of the deterrent for you rather than I hate the system, man.
Yeah, yeah, but I also, like, after my incident, I see what like, my eyes opened up a little bit, I started paying attention, I started looking at videos and listen to what people are saying, and how these cops are treated on a daily basis, what they deal with, what they put up with, and then how their department just throws them under the bus in the first take they can. It's just I wouldn't wanna do that. I already got thrown through the ringer. I don't wanna, like, work for a department and get thrown through a ringer again.
Yeah, and I feel like with you, there'd be a special kind of target on your back. Like I think it'd be even being who you are with all the media attention. I think that would be an extra dangerous profession for you. But that's kind of interesting. Were you like conservative before this incident, or how do you describe yourself politically before the incident? And how do you describe yourself politically now?
I was conservative before the incident. I was more like didn't care. I had a lot of conservative ideologies, um, but now I would say I'm pretty conservative, pro-life, pro 2A. I want to stand up. I want to fight for the Second Amendment. I want to fight for the First Amendment. So that's where I'd put myself now. Back then, I don't think I would really care. I would like, okay,
Sure.
how does this directly affect me? Um, but now I'm just like, this doesn't only affect me, but this affects everybody.
Right. And I
I
think
mean,
people
look at
are.
Illinois, for example, with
Oh
all the
yeah.
laws. They're
Right, because they
glad I
they
don't live
just
there anymore.
they just passed the assault weapon ban in Illinois, which has got to go through. It's got to go up to the Supreme Court and be interpreted through the Pistol and Rifle Association versus Bruin case, which
Hmm.
is a mess. New Jersey's done the same thing. New York's trying to pass a really restrictive carry um, uh, bill that well they did, and now that's got to go through. All of this stuff is going on. But so I think there were some people who had questions about the Second Amendment based on an action that you took following the trial. And if you don't mind, can I ask what went into your decision to not retrieve the gun that was seized?
I didn't need it. I didn't want it. It was a tool that I used to defend my life, and I can get another rifle. Um, and I just didn't need that one. I didn't want it. It had memories on it that I didn't need.
See, I'm like not I would have gotten it and auctioned it. Like that's what I would have done because
I didn't want to profit off of I didn't want to take that gun and profit off of the tool I used because
yours is probably the
I
smarter decision.
it, I don't think it looks good and it just leaves a bad flavor in my mouth.
Right. I was curious, and if you don't want to answer this, you don't have to. I was curious if it was part of a legal strategy because, or I don't know if it was a legal strategy so much at that point, but at least a PR strategy because, the question of ownership of the gun was actually an open question. That was technically Dominic Black's gun, right? Like you gave him money, he grabbed the gun, but you were still under 18, so he couldn't officially transfer ownership of it to you at the time of the incident. And the question of whether or not it was yours. I don't know if there were any discussion about that. And again, if you don't want to answer, please don't.
I'm just not going to comment on that question.
Sounds good. Okay. All right. So anyway, so Kyle's like nihilistic, basically. Like you're 17, right? You don't need to fight the world's fights. But then this happens. Now you're much more conservative following the event. Did that start like when you were accused, or did that really start to shift after you were acquitted?
It really started after I was acquitted.
Gotcha. And with that acquittal, a lot of people out there are people in this chat even right now who say, I mean, there are people who've said a ton of negative stuff about you, but there are a bunch of people who laud you as a hero. What do you think about that?
I think I did what I had to do to defend my life. I think anybody in my shoes would do the exact same thing. I don't think it's heroic to like have to defend yourself, but that's just me. Well, it is heroic to defend yourself, but I don't think what I did was heroic, if that makes sense.
I kind of get that. What about though? Not just that you defended yourself, because a lot of people do defend themselves. Lots of people defend themselves in the life of someone else, and they don't get the same. First of all, they don't get the same ire that you did, and then they don't get the same heroic treatment. Do you think that there's a level of heroism in what you had to go through the courts?
I don't know. I never really looked at it that way. I just looked at it like I'm being screwed over by a state that wants my head on their cabinet. And I
Very
just was
true.
looking at getting acquitted. So I didn't really look at it that way other than I was getting screwed over by the system.
That's a very good way to put it, I think. And I think that people calling you a hero, I think they put a burden on you personally that that you don't seem to want or need. How does that feel? Like cuz you're like this, you became the banner of a movement. But it by your own words, I mean, it's not like you wanted to. You're just there. People attacked you. This is the result.
It's stressful having that weight on your shoulder a little bit because everything I do is examined under a microscope. Every single word I say, how I walk into a grocery store, people's heads turn, and it's stressful, but I was given this platform and I'm going to use the platform because I feel like I have a voice that I can make good change with. I think I can advocate for the right things and the laws that I think are the right ones to be passed and be a voice.
And that's something that I do want to talk to you about
Did we just
also.
lose Nick?
No, I'm here. You
Oh, you just froze out because I
Oh,
got a little like you disappeared completely and then you got your screen turned black and then I saw a loading circle. I was like, we lost Nick.
no, that was just my AI rebooting. Um, but no, so okay. So that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about was the and we're I do things out of order, so this doesn't matter. Um, you did start a YouTube channel, but you
I
haven't
did.
uploaded anything yet.
No, so I'm still trying to figure it out. I am still like
I'm
trying to
so
make a
mad at you.
studio. This is my makeshift studio, like
Yeah.
ish. Um, but I don't know how to edit a video. I don't know how to do any of this. I'm like trying to figure it out and learn. I've made a couple videos and I've edited them, but I will like it's just not good. They don't look good. I just don't seem like myself. I don't like how they look. So
Be honest, is your studio what we'll call like the cone of acceptability? So like that's where from the camera there's a cone, and in that cone everything looks kind of like clean and organized, and the rest of your studio is an abject disaster. Are you at that point yet?
yeah, I mean, I have literally a camera box sitting on my bed and just like these cheap Walmart studio lights that I'm using.
Yes, perfect. Okay. Uh Here's why I'm mad at you. I'm very mad at you actually, because I was begging to be like your social media coach the moment you were acquitted. I was like, I can make this kid $1 million if we just immediately launch a gun review channel. Like, I know you wouldn't have looked good or whatever, but optics be damned, you would have made a fortune with like 1 billion subscribers right away. Are you going to review firearms on your channel, or
No,
are you going to talk? You're not?
I'm just gonna talk about the laws. Like I'll talk about firearms, but it's just like yeah, I'll maybe do a couple range days, but I mostly am like I want to talk about the law a little bit. I want to do the boring stuff. I want to talk about like here's what's happening in Colorado, here's what's happening in Illinois. Hey, do you see what's happening in New York with all this stuff? I just want to talk about what how the push on firearms, abortion issues. I want to talk about those type of issues and report on them.
I have so many jokes I want to tell right now, and I really don't want you associated with them. So just a second. Why doesn't he start a YouTube channel where he shoots at skateboards? Like, why doesn't this happen? God, I'm so mad. Hi, Kyle. Welcome back. We lost you to technical difficulties for a second there. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so I see this one question that keeps popping up on the screen about Black Rifle Coffee, so I'll answer that one real quick just to
Yes,
get it
yes,
out of the
do
way.
it. Let's get Black Rifle out of the way because you just saw them at SHOT Show, right?
Yeah, so I've talked to Matt Best a lot. We've had a lot of conversations about that, and I understand what happened. So their banks literally were like, they wrote up a statement and they say, if you don't stay this statement verbatim, we're gonna pull all your bank accounts. We're gonna stop. Like it would destroy their business. That's what
Why didn't they
happened.
say that?
I'm not sure. I think I'm gonna do an interview with them, and I'm gonna go on their interview, and we're gonna talk about it. But Matt Best is a really good dude. Gave me some coffee. We hashed things out, and we're cool now. We've
Yeah, well,
talked about
and
it.
Brandon Herrera has been on my channel. He's defended their decisions as well. I just wish they would be honest, because that is something that that people, I don't want to say conservatives, but just people on the right, especially social media people, have dealt with. And they could have gotten all of the sympathy in the world, and instead they chose social violence.
I mean, but you have to think of it. They have like families to feed, and looking at their decision when their banks are saying we're gonna pull you for something you had nothing to do, nothing you had to nothing they want. They didn't associate it with anything. They weren't talking about it. It's just they were focused on making coffee.
Right.
And then
No,
they
I
start getting
get it.
attacked over
Believe
a
me.
t-shirt that I wore,
Right.
and they're just like, "Whoa." And then their banks are like, "You need to say this statement." I don't know what you would have done. I don't know what I would have done, but can't
No,
say that
and
I could blame them.
and I don't fault them for making the decision based on the bank thing. What I'm just saying is I wish they would have told everybody, hey, our financiers have told us that, we have to do this. And maybe that would have caused the same trouble. I don't know. But to me, the oppression of the banking system needs to be in the light, not in the dark. But again,
Absolutely.
I don't drink coffee anyway, so I don't care about their silly product. But like I said, Brandon Herrera, who I know you got to hang out with down in San Antonio, he was on here. He talked about it from their perspective because he's been friends with them for a long time and stuff like that. I got no malice towards the company. I don't have any favor towards them either. I've never talked to them. They're just kind of neutral. But I know that's been a big issue for a lot of people. When it happened, though, I know you've worked things out now, but when it happened, did you feel a little bit slighted? Did you feel off put?
Sorry, I was reading a comment and got half of that maybe.
When Black Rifle first made their announcement, I know, like I said, I know you've patched things up now, but did you feel like pretty slighted back then? Were you upset with them?
I'm not gonna talk about that just because like we hashed it out, and I just don't want any animosity towards them, and
Sure.
just to not look back on that.
Gotcha. Okay. So walk me through, if you will, because I have questions about this. Lynn Wood. Can we talk about Lynn Wood?
I'm not gonna comment on that either.
All right, we can skip the Lynn Wood question. Okay, wait, I do have one question about Lynn Wood that I think you can answer. Is his hair real?
I don't know.
You don't know? He didn't say, "Hey Kyle, you want to run your fingers through my hair?" or anything like that.
No, Mr. Wood did not say that at all to me.
I never know. I mean, that guy, he said some weird stuff in his life, so I wasn't sure. Okay, we'll
That sounds
breeze
like more
through
of a
Lynn Wood.
Joe Biden quote.
No,
Can you
that
run
would
your
have been
fingers
him
through my hair?
sniffing your hair. Do you
Oh,
think if you were a Democrat that you would have gotten the Congressional Medal of Freedom and that Joe Biden would have sniffed your hair when he put the medal around your neck?
oh, most likely.
Yeah, I think so. Did he ever call you up in a drunken stupor, Joe Biden?
No,
Hey,
no.
Kyle,
I don't think he has my number.
I really support you, man. Really good with it. Okay. Okay. So all of this stuff happens and let's not talk specifically about Lynn Wood, but you get some attorneys going, things are going one way, and for some reason you decide to hire Mark Richards and Michael Sharafsky. Is it Michael?
Corey
Corey.
Shirafisi.
Corey Shirafisi. Jeez. Mark Richards and Corey Shirafisi. These guys come in, and Miss Wisco as well, who's awesome. I really like her. And these guys kind of, I don't know if they take over the case or if they're given the reins of the case, whatever, but they're running your defense. How did you get along with them? Was that something that was an instant click, or was there friction, or was it, how was that?
Instant click. Not even today. I was talking to Mark Richards on the cell phone. I'm not going to say when because I don't want people
Right.
harassing me, but I'm going to be visiting him within the next several months. Have a trip planned out and everything.
Awesome. That'll be cool. Were you shocked when he dropped the N-bomb in his opening statement?
He was just repeating what was said, and people took that out of context. He was repeating a video, and
Oh, I didn't think anyone took it out of context. Or I probably haven't seen it. I haven't seen any criticism of him doing it, but when he did it, while I was watching, I was like, "Whoa!" He just up and said it. Wow, that was amazing. But it was the right move, I think, to do. But I just, it caught me by surprise. And did it catch you by surprise when he said it? Because you're sitting there.
no, I mean it was really powerful because like just to show what was being screamed, what Mr. Rosenbaum was screaming at the crowd. I think it people really grasped onto that and they really understood in that moment.
Sure. So you go through this process, and then there's this weird moment where everything's done except for the return of the bail money. That becomes a fight, and I'm pretty sure you don't want to talk about that, since when I asked you about Lynn Wood, you said you didn't want to talk about it. So we're gonna breeze past that. We're gonna breeze past that.
We're just gonna breeze.
Yep. And we're going to go into one of the things that this is kind of what I've really wanted to talk about is what comes next for Kyle after the trial. Because what we all saw watching from home is we see you going to CPAC. We see you going to Tucker Carlson. We see you going to all of these different shows and events. What's going on at that point in time for you? Like because to me, it seems like you got to be reeling from all of everything that's just happened. There's this big release, to me, would feel like a giant release of energy, weight off your shoulders, all of that. But now it's like you're here and then here and then here. And it seemed like you were everywhere for a hot minute.
Yeah. Like I was like traveling a lot, doing a lot of interviews and just really telling my story and getting as much exposure as I can. And then I kind of took a break. I don't know if you noticed recently, but I'm kind of back on that incline up. But that's because I've done hundreds of interviews, what it feels like, and I'm comfortable with them now. But I took a break for a while. I hit it strong. I got burnt out
Sure.
when I was doing it, I just got burnt out and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to go and do my own thing. And I did that for a little bit. I did very little interviews. I lived my life, worked a little bit on school, and just hung out with my dog for the longest time.
When you were doing all those interviews at the beginning, was that something you wanted to do?
Yeah. I wanted to tell my story. I wanted to meet Tucker Carlson. I wanted to meet President Trump, and I wasn't going to turn down an opportunity to be on a panel at American Fest. So a lot of it, I wanted to do. It was great.
So you're in school now?
I'm on a gap semester.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm not gonna.
You don't
Well,
have to. You're wearing an A&M shirt. You go to school at
I'm a
A&M?
big Aggie fan. No, I'm on a gap semester right now, but I'm not gonna announce where I go to school. I don't go to
Oh,
A&M.
okay. Gotcha.
But
But
I am a huge Aggie fan. Go to Aggie games all the time.
where you go to school, do people like know who you are? Do you get any grief about it?
The cool thing is we have computers nowadays, so nobody sees me right now.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was curious what your on-campus experience would be like.
I don't know if I'll ever get to experience that on campus with security and everything. I can't afford to have a 24-hour security detail. I
Right.
can't. That's like unrealistic, and I get
Mhm.
death threats constantly, and going to a location where people know I'm gonna be at every single day, all it takes is one nut job to wait for me in the parking lot to take me out.
Right. Do you worry about that when you do make public appearances that are not like when you went to SHOT Show? Are you worried? That seems like a bad place, by the way, to attack someone at a place like SHOT Show, but do you get concerned when you go to stuff like that?
No, because, I've made some great connections. The people I'm with, are law enforcement and security, and I know they'll protect me, and I know they're gonna watch over me.
Are you sad that you're not going to really probably get the full college experience?
Who needs a full college experience?
That's the right perspective. That's a good answer because it's really like nothing super cool in my opinion. I mean, I had a lot of fun in college, but you can have a lot of fun anywhere.
Yeah, exactly, but I don't think I'm missing out on much. I think I have my friends. I go up to, Lake Gaston all the time, and I wakeboard with the guys at AF Wake, great friends with them, and yeah, so I have, like, my college friends that are fun to hang out with.
You also have a girlfriend.
Yeah, beautiful girlfriend,
She's
Skylar,
lovely.
she's great.
Mhm.
She gets so much hate.
Well, I got a little bit I got a little bit of a question. What's up with those damn singing TikToks, Kyle?
Do you have a problem with them, Nick? Are you jealous?
I'm just asking what's up with the singing TikToks. I didn't say anything about them.
Oh, you turned so red there, Nick.
I don't know,
You
man.
know, I'm gonna say it, the TikToks were my idea. I was like, "You know, this is fun.
They're
I
your
like this."
idea.
Yeah, she was like, "Kyle, this is gonna make you look like an idiot," and I was like, "You know what? So be it. I'm 19 years old, just turned 20. If I wanna make a damn TikTok, I'm gonna make a damn TikTok."
Women are good at making us look like idiots. But it was your fault. So you did that on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it again. I'd make TikToks again.
Why don't you?
I realize I don't look good on TikTok camera. There's a little bit of crashing and burning, but
How hard did you get roasted over those videos?
you know, there was a couple nights I was just crying myself to sleep, but that's besides the point.
Did you ever
Apparently,
feel
people
like
have
you
a
had to draw on fire over any of the roastings? Like they were that intense?
well, anyway, apparently, people have a problem with my weight. Apparently, I'm like, am I looking overweight, Nick?
Well, I can only see the top section of you. I don't know. Do you want to
Well,
stand
I'm
up?
wearing
Do you want me to
pajamas.
fat shame you?
I'm wearing pajamas, but sure.
You're not huge.
I mean, I don't think I'm that big.
No, you're not that big. On some of those TikToks, and it's like here's the thing with cameras is it depends on the type of lens you've got. And cell phone cameras can actually make you look a kind of a weird way. And where the camera's placed, they can make you look fatter than you are. That at least that's what I tell myself while I'm crying myself to sleep at night.
Ugh,
No, you don't look fat at all. If you did,
camera
I'd tell
adds
you.
weight. Big but not huge. Peak male physique.
You getting thick,
Eat your
boy?
fucking veggies, kid. All the comments. What did I do? I did this to myself.
Yes, you did. But I led you into that trap, so it's my fault. I'll take all the blame. Um, but actually,
Oh,
so that's a question I do have for you because most people do not have to, they don't have to consider that millions of people will see them, right? But now you first went through, you had the initial incident, and then of course you had the trial where millions of people are seeing you all the time. Are you more image conscious than you were when you were before this stuff?
um, no, not really. I mean, for the longest time, I'd wear a shirt out that was like wrinkly or something, or that had a stain on it. But
Yeah.
now I'm just like, I'm probably not gonna wear a white T-shirt if I'm going to eat spaghetti or stuff like that. I'm not gonna wear a stained T-shirt.
You became an adult very quickly. No. um, so okay. So you go through the tour of what I like to call conservative ink. You go to Tucker, you go to CPAC. We were just talking about that, getting back on track. But what was your impression of that? Like and you don't have to name names or anything, but was everybody cool and wonderful? Were things kind of greasy at times? Was there anything that really like rubbed you the wrong way? Again, you don't have to like name names, but is there any sort of general feelings that you got about that?
There was a lot of people that I've become really close with that I really respect, Charlie Kirk, Jack Posobiec, Drew Hernandez, but there's some people in the media that have definitely rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not going to say any names that I've avoided, and I haven't gone on their show since. Done their show once, and I didn't like their views, or I didn't like um, how I perceived them, so I just let it be that.
Sure. But did you ever feel anything like as far as going beyond individual personalities about the machine of it that rubbed you the wrong way or the right way? I mean, you and the reason I'm asking is because again, you went to CPAC, like you saw all of it. You got to see the full mechanism of the American mainstream right.
I really I like what Turning Point USA stands for. I like their views on a lot of things, and I think what they're doing is the right thing. I think they're pushing the Christian narrative is great. Just the Second Amendment issues they talk about, and then the First Amendment censorship is huge with Turning Point USA, and I really like that about them. So I think Turning Point USA is great, and they rubbed me the right way.
Very, very cool. You heard it here, folks. Charlie Kirk rubbed Kyle Rittenhouse the right way. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh, the headline. So Nick, you're getting in trouble.
No. All good things. All good things. I'm going to start reading super chats in just a minute here because there's some questions in there for you. But what's next for you, man? What's up after this?
Well, I have a speaking engagement this week. So the 26th, I'm going to be in Conroe, Texas at the Lone Star Convention Center. Yes, I just announced where I'm going to be at. And
What are you
I'm
thinking?
going to be, yeah, I'm going to be talking about censorship, and I'm going to be up on stage. And it's going to be a great event. You guys can purchase tickets to go watch. Thank you to Defiance Press for inviting me out to this event. I'm really excited for it.
Is that your future? Is speaking engagements and public advocacy the future of Kyle Rittenhouse? Because I know you had a tweet a while back where you were talking about being the proper age to be a House of Representatives member.
Yeah, I don't think
like
I'm going to
that.
run for office, but
I wouldn't ever.
I think I can make more of an impact from the outside in, and maybe like pushing for other laws and putting pressure on politicians, but I don't think that's the career I want.
Yeah, and no, I 100% agree, and I think some of the most influential and effective people have been far outside of that sort of thing. But what kind of do you mind sharing what your major is in school or what you're studying?
Business academics. Like I want to learn
Business.
about business, not business
Okay,
academics, but
like
business.
okay, a business degree. I was like business academics. That sounds like a basket weaving major. Who who hexed you into that curse?
Like lesbian dance theory.
Yes. Would you take lesbian dance theory? I think I'd take a class of that.
Would I walk away with an easy degree?
No, not the whole like thing. Just one class of lesbian dance theory. I think that'd be good.
Probably not.
No, you don't think
No,
that'd be enriching?
uh, I just don't think it doesn't float my boat.
Okay. Let me grab a couple. There's Tennessee Marine has dropped 3 giant super chats. I'm gonna read those real quick and then let's see what he says. Kyle, what do you think about Black Rifle Coffee disparaging you and the people who support you in a New York Times article? We kind of talked about that. You don't really want to get back into that because it's patched over.
Yeah, and that was the comment I answered when I was reading the comments.
He says, I'll read the rest of it, but we'll go with that. It seems like they are friendly with you now, which seems unusual and phony. My sincere hope is that you don't let influencers influence you. Then he said, Kyle, you might not be able to blame Rifle Coffee, but the people who supported them and supported you do. They called us racist and evil, which we aren't. They drug you through the mud and drug us too. I am not a proud boy, but Black Rifle Coffee tried to lump us, all of us, as evil. And then he finally says, Kyle, you seem like a great young man. My only advice is not to fall in line with influencers. You are alone in your actions. You will be alone in your lack of public fame. Fame is fleeting. Your soul is not. Your life is yours alone. Best wishes and Godspeed. So what about that? Let's frame that question without the Black Rifle Coffee and say, what about influencers? Like I guess I think I'm an influencer. I don't know. It feels
I
weird to
hate that
like,
word influencer.
I do too. And you are, you're doing public speaking engagements. You get invited to events. So you're an influencer too. But what do you feel about that idea that now you're part of this machine, whether you want to be or not, and your actions will be perceived through the actions and words of others. You're lumped in with conservative America.
Um, well, well, I think I can only make my own decisions. I think I've hit a lot of bumps on this road, and I'm finally on in a place to where I'm on my own, and I make all the decisions in my life. And I think I just have to look at all the stuff from my own eyes and see how does this make me look? Do I want to be associated with that influencer? Should I take that influencer's advice? Should I do that, or should I just not associate with that person?
What are the bumps that you had? You mentioned bumps.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Oh, there's got to be some bumps we can talk about.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that many bumps.
Well, but this isn't a smooth thing, right? Like I don't want people to have this rosy. Now I don't want to. We talked about some bumps that we're not talking about, and I definitely don't want to go there. So let's take those off the table, and that's you and me. We know that, but this isn't like some this isn't some Cinderella story, right? Like you went, you ended up having to defend yourself, and then you go, midnight hits and you rush home to the courthouse to be acquitted just in time, and now everything's happily ever after. It's not that simple, right? Like there's got to be some stuff
No.
where you've made some missteps, I'm guessing, things that you're not super happy about, uh and then other people have made some missteps. So tell me some of yours,
Well, for one, I wish
besides
I
the
would have.
TikTok videos.
Um, I wish as soon as I got acquitted, maybe that I wouldn't have done as many appearances. That was a bump. I feel like that really put my life in jeopardy. I feel like maybe if I would have calmed down a little bit and not gone out there, I wouldn't have this giant target on my back.
Mm.
Because like I had a name-ish, but then like I really started pushing like who I am, and now everybody in America knows who I am.
Do you regret, and maybe you did, but from the outside it looks like you didn't exploit your name for a bunch of profit. Do you regret that with the amount of activity that you did? So assuming you were going to do the same amount of activity, do you regret not exploiting it for profit from the start?
I mean, I definitely could have been making a lot of money off of my name in the beginning. I wasn't, and maybe a little bit because I'm dead broke in legal bills right now, but that's besides the point.
So, because again, and this is something that took me a long time to learn, was for me, or well, to learn. I don't know if I've learned it. It's what I do. To me, it's like, okay, well, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to try and make it profitable for me in some way. Like that's my aim, because I've got kids to feed. And what I wish I would have known when I was younger was I will have kids to feed. So that's my advice to you, young man, is find ways, because other people are profiting handsomely off of you. Like I did. Let's make no bones about it. I did. But if I had the opportunity, I would have brought you into the grift full on. I don't know if that would have been the best move for you, but I would have done it in a heartbeat, because all I could think was all of these people are taking this kid in, and they're parading it. This is my perspective on it. It looked like you were being paraded around for everybody else's profit and none for you. And that pissed me off, honestly.
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like in a little bit of ways. I'm not gonna get into details on that.
Right.
Sorry. The
Okay,
super chats are
we'll talk
hilarious.
about that super chat. Oh, the super chats are great. I have the best audience on the entire internet, bar
How
none.
many viewers are we at, Nick?
On YouTube we have 7,000. On Rumble we have about 13,000, and on Odyssey we have 71. It looks like, but yeah, so around 20,000 all told.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. It's not as
I'm
many
putting
as
a
I
tweet
had
out
during
there.
your acquittal, though. So when you were acquitted, I had, I think, around 130,000 people watching live on YouTube, and it was a pretty
Wow.
surreal moment for me. But I can't tell you, like, when you because I saw your knees go weak, right? I saw your knees go weak when you got acquitted, and dude, we were all here with you. Pasobic was on here as
Jack
well.
was it?
Yeah, he was on. It was great, and we were like cheering. It was we knew exactly how you felt. But can you tell us
You
what
want to
was
know
going
my?
through your head? Oh, wait, yes, I
I'll
want
get
to
to
know
that in a
whatever you're
minute.
about to say.
Oh, no, no, you just skip the. No, just kidding. You want to know what my favorite part of the entire trial was?
100%, yes.
When I went into the break room and I was watching, I watched your stream and then I just like Mr. Grosskreutz admitted to pointing a gun at my head and I just see your face like going dead silent and then it just got silent on the thing and I was like, that's the best moment.
That was good. That was a really good one. At that point, we're like, if Kyle is found guilty after that, then justice is dead. Then there was nothing you could do. But when he's like, yeah, I pointed the gun at him and or whatever. I can't even remember what he said, but it was this perfect moment of, wow, you just got annihilated on cross-examination by the assassin, Corey Sharafazi.
Yep, yep. Corey is a great cross examiner.
Oh my
I
God.
don't think I would ever want to sit on the other side of a table against him. I've actually experienced Corey Sharaftzi's cross examinations because we did a lot of prep, and Corey was the one who was cross examining me.
Oh, I bet that was
Um,
terrible. Are you glad that the person who ended up cross-examining you is Binger?
oh, absolutely. Parts of me tell me that it would have been a lot more interesting if Lunchbox would have cross examined me.
Love that you call him
Like, just
Lunchbox.
imagine that cross examination.
I can't, because I can't put my head in the mind of someone who only thinks in ham sandwiches. Like, I just can't do that. So you can talk about these guys, right? You can talk about Binger and Lunchbox.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they can sue me.
I don't think they can either. They can sue me.
Oh.
Come at me, Binger. What up, Binger?
No, but it was interesting. I'm not gonna say much about them, but they should never have prosecuted this case, and it was a complete joke. And like, I don't know if he really thought he was gonna win. Like, he
I think he
walked in there
did.
with no facts. Like, do you think he thought he was gonna win?
Have you? So you probably have not, but he did a podcast
Where he was wearing a Star Wars
Well,
T-shirt with his one buddy, and they were talking about, I think it was trains or something.
that was
Or
one. I didn't want to bring up the autism cast that he did. Because that was embarrassing out of its mind.
and the other one was with the lawyer, correct?
Yeah. Did you happen to listen to that one at all?
My brain shut down about 10 seconds in and I couldn't deal with it. I was just like, this is ridiculous. I gotta go. Like, I tuned out.
If you're ever really, really bored, I do have a way for you to watch it. I had a couple lawyer friends on and we went through that podcast. It took two episodes, but it was a disaster. And we went
Probably
through
a
the whole
lot
thing.
of bourbon and whiskey.
Yes. It was embarrassing. He thought, I mean, according to what he said, he thought he could win. He was proud of the job he did. I thought that it was a
He was
disgrace.
proud of the job he did.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did a really sucky job.
He did. Because let's be honest about this. I 100% think you were not guilty by reasons of justified self-defense. Okay? I believe that to my core. It's the first thing I said. And by the way, I think I was one of the first people who broke down why you weren't illegally carrying a firearm that night. I think I was
Yeah, you
the
were. You were one of
um
the first.
so with
I
that
think
though,
John Doyle was like the first one.
who the hell's John
John,
Doyle?
you don't know who John Doyle is?
I don't know who any of these people are. I don't watch YouTube. YouTube's for weirdos.
I don't watch YouTube. I don't watch videos in general unless like I
Oh wait,
want to
no.
really know something.
I think I do know John Doyle. I think I met him when I went to visit Elijah Schaefer the first time. I think I did meet him, but like for 10 seconds at a bar. Is that the John Doyle I'm thinking of? Let me look. He's on YouTube, right?
Yeah, Doyle.
I think I met him for 5 seconds at a bar, and it was so loud. And then that night got weird. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I met this guy for just a second. So, but okay. So I didn't know that he did anything because I don't watch anybody else's content. I watch cooking shows, Kyle. That's what I do on YouTube.
You watch cooking shows?
Yeah, I love to cook. Do you like to cook?
I like to cook.
What do you cook? What's your signature dish?
Okay, so I love to cook a really good steak. So, buddy of mine, Jason Pratt, sent me a care package. He has the seasoning, delicious. I made some steaks yesterday. Bearded veteran on barbecue, I think it is. I
Mhm.
made a steak yesterday. It was a sirloin. I reverse seared it. I seared it on the stove, a little bit of avocado oil, caked in the seasoning. Threw it in the oven, wrapped it in tin foil, baked it to about medium rare. By
Nice.
far one of the best steaks I've ever had.
Attaboy. Yeah, cook a good steak. I grew up,
I'll send you a picture.
ooh. Can I share it on stream? Is that okay?
Uh, let me make sure there's nothing doxing in the background, but yeah.
I grew up, my mom was born in Louisiana, so I grew up with some Cajun food and I cook that a lot. But I cook everything, man. I love cooking. Cooking's my zen place.
Yes, my cutting board has my name on it, but yeah, you can share this on stream if you want to.
Doxed AF. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. We got it. So let's I'll pull these up one at a time. Here we go. We can do this. Here's your seasoning mix that we've got. You got those things ready for a nice crust. I love that. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
And then see, here we go. Look at that result. That's an excellent medium rare, good sir. Well done.
Oh yeah, it was delicious.
Yeah, it looks like a good steak, man.
Yeah.
Last night after my show, I threw a strip steak on the grill. I did this on locals, but I made drunken 4 a.m. ramen. So it's like ramen, 3 soft-boiled eggs, strip steak, a bunch of mushrooms, serrano peppers. It was good. It was good. Okay.
To answer that super chat really quick, because I want to answer that one from, I'm not going to say that name, but you can. No.
The bleep hole?
The question is, yeah, Kyle, what were your thoughts when Lunchbox in closing said everyone takes a beating sometimes? Like that has
that
ever
piece
taken
of
a
shit has
beating
ever
by
taken a
any-
beating by anything other than a Big Mac.
Yeah. So when he said that everybody takes a beating sometimes, he said kick him in the nuts and that. So I don't know if you remember that. He said you can kick him in the nuts. You can do this. Do you remember that?
Yes. I'd kind of tuned that out of my brain because it's so obviously idiotic. But yeah, he did say kick him in the nuts.
So here's my thing to that. Yes, everybody takes a beating, but there's proportional force and reasonable force to stop the person. Everybody has a right to defend themselves, even when they're taking a beating.
But you could have just defended yourself by kicking him in the nuts. I think that was obvious message there, Kyle.
You know, that's what they would have hoped. Like I would have. They hoped I would have kicked him in the nuts. But the truth is, if I would have done that, I would have been dead because one, I was on the ground. Two, I didn't have the opportunity to kick anybody in the nuts.
Right. And if you would have kicked, let's say the first incident is Rosenbaum, and if you would have kicked him in the nuts, you would have been swarmed within moments by people.
Absolutely.
I think the report, I think of the gunshot, that's the thing. It's why people sometimes, which you should never do, fire into the air, is because that bang, that sound is so jarring. And the closer you are, the more jarring it is. That it physically stops people, and especially if they can feel that concussion from the report of the gun. When they're really close, it backs crowds off. And so I think
Hmm.
without that, Rosenbaum follows you. Zeminski's there, and Zeminski is a horrific monster of a whole different category.
Like 6'5", ridiculous. This dude is huge.
Knowing what you know about Zeminski now, like how terrifying is he? Like, do you look back and go like, thank Christ I was chased by the midget?
I mean, like that dude is a scary person. I mean, he makes like amateur porn. Um, oh my god. Ugh. Sorry.
No,
I
no,
don't know
it's
if
okay.
you've seen it. It's ugh. Sorry. I'm
I've,
gonna
I've not
puke a little
watched
bit.
his, I've not watched the Zeminski amateur porn. I did not know that was a thing, but now I have an assignment. So
Ask. I'm not gonna say his name, but I'll text you. I know who has the links to it, and it's really disturbing.
oh my God. Okay. Let's let's briefly talk about the not the incident, but the aftermath of the incident. You went through a lot that night. Um, the parts people focus on are when you shoot people, because that became sort of the focus of the trial, right? But there's a couple other things that happen. One, there is one assailant that has never officially been identified, although seems to have been identified by the internet, but it's kind of hard to say. The gentleman who courteously stepped on your face.
Jump kick man.
Yeah,
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 the state identified him. They didn't call him to testify. We didn't really care. He didn't help us or hurt us.
right.
He actually had a bunch of criminal records. He said, "I'll
Shocker.
testify," but he had a warrant out for his arrest. He was like, "But I want that expunged. I want that dropped before I come to the courtroom." And
I'll testify, but you got to let this other stuff go. Sure, buddy.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
but
and the state didn't want to
but
do
I mean,
that.
you were not like it. The media acted like you weren't actually in real danger in a lot of this stuff, because Rosenbaum, he got close, and we know he got his hand either on or right next to the barrel of the gun. That was proved
It
out
was
at
on.
court. Yeah. So but we empirically can show that happened. The media tries to pretend, but he didn't get his hand on you. But then Huber hits you with a skateboard. You trip, you fall to the ground. This guy, jump kick man, he kicks you in the face. Like, this is not a simple thing. Do you have lasting effects from this? Do you have
Yeah,
something like PTSD? Do you get scared in crowds? Like, what how does this affect you?
absolutely. I have PTSD. I have constant migraines. I have a dent in the back of my head.
From
It's
hitting the pavement?
from getting hit in the back of the head with a
Oh, from the
skateboard.
skateboard. Wow.
Mhm.
Cuz see, don't take this the wrong way, but the skateboard hit on video doesn't look that bad. Right? Like, cause the way the video plays out and it's grainy, it kind of looks like it just kind of glances over you. So to me, it's really interesting. And you guys didn't play up in the trial that you have an actual dent in the back of your head with the skateboard.
Yeah,
I don't remember that fact coming out.
no, I don't think we talked about it much. But yeah, I have a dent back here. When we go hang out, I'll show you.
Well, now I got to tell Richards that what the hell, man, like, bring up the damn dent. Cause to me, it
Oh,
always kind of looked like the skateboard like hit your shoulders and then kind of like, I mean, it looked like it hit your head. And I 100% think that the skateboard is obviously a deadly weapon when swung at someone's head. Like, make no mistake. But it did look like kind of a glancing hit, and it looked more like you tripped than were affected by the skateboard. But now I'm changing my opinion on that in real time. So
yeah,
that's
I mean,
crazy.
it almost knocked me unconscious. So I had four major blunt. Let me count. Skateboard hit number one to the back of the head, rock hit to the back of the head, jump kick man to the face,
Yeah.
then head. So that's five. So I'm considering jump kick man as two contacts to the head, and then skateboard another contact to the head.
Yeah.
So that's how many like how much head trauma, like blunt force trauma, I'd had to my skull in a matter of seconds.
Dude, it was crazy. And I, again, for at no point did I ever think that that your actions were not justified by proportional force or anything. You were definitely in a deadly force situation. I just didn't realize the actual after effect, because just being a glancing blow to the head with a skateboard is enough. I mean, that's sufficient. That is someone attempting to make deadly contact with you, whether they're successful. I just didn't realize how successful they were. That's crazy. Chat,
Yeah,
did
I
you know
mean,
this? Am I the idiot here? Can chat yell at me and tell me I'm stupid? That'll make me feel better. Um, but that's wild. I had no idea. Unix EDU says Kyle had supernatural discernment that night. Facts. So here's the question for you. Are you a religious man, Kyle?
absolutely. I'm a Christian man. I have Christian beliefs. And I think God got me through this. I think without God and the power of prayer, I wouldn't be here today. And I still have God to lean on and to pray to and to talk to when I'm feeling down or when I'm sad or when I just need somebody to be there for me. He's always there.
This is a weird question, I think, but did you feel God's hand on you that night, like as you're defending yourself? Do you think that there was
Oh,
some
absolutely.
guidance?
I mean, God absolutely helped keep me alive. Like he guided me through that night. He protected me and he put a shield of armor over me, if that makes sense.
I 100% believe that. Like without a hint of irony, I 100% believe that, because what you did, so many commentators have said this, and that it feels cheap to say it again, but it's like, uh we would hope our best trained soldier or police officer would act in the way you did. Like the fact that you didn't hit anybody else is a literal miracle. Right? That no bystander accidentally got tagged by a round that you fired, for example. That you only struck people who hit you is it's amazing, frankly. So no, I'm 100% with you on that. Um, here's one more thing from Tennessee Marine. He says, Kyle, is someone who has suffered through PTSD, I can promise you what you need to focus on is self-improvement and nurturing companionship. You need true friends who will help you make sure you're doing well. You have your whole life ahead of you. Do not waste it. I agree with that, but I got to ask the question: do you feel like you've made true friends in the follow-up of all this?
Oh, absolutely. I've definitely made true friends. Like people in the media world a little bit. I'm friends with a few, like the AK Jesus. Somebody just commented his name, and do me and Brandon hang out. I still hang out with AK Jesus.
Yeah.
Um, and like Cody, and then there's some other people like Chance. I just doxed my buddy's name, but
Who's Cody? Is Cody someone people would recognize?
donut operator.
Oh, okay. I don't know Donut's name. Donut and I did a video, and that motherfucker never released it. I got
Oh,
beef with Donut now. What's up, Donut? How you doing, buddy? I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I think well, and I think we have a mutual friend or contact or whatever who seems like a pretty nice guy to you too, and that he called you while I was there, if you remember. Probably, I don't know. I don't want to say.
maybe.
I don't want to say, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, but no, I think that's been probably one of the cool outcomes of this. You get to meet a lot of people, but I think you find that a lot of people, and we got to this with influencers earlier, that there are influencers, certainly in social media and mass media, who want to like take control, but then there's a bunch of people who are just genuinely good people.
Hmm. Yep, absolutely. There's just some people that have no ulterior motive, and they just want to be genuine friends, and they just want to help me and help better myself, like help better me as a person.
Right. What are you doing to better yourself?
What am I doing to better myself?
It's a weird question,
Surrounding
isn't
myself
it?
with good people. I keep telling myself every morning that I'm going to go to the gym I still have yet to do that. I'm gonna do it one of these days. One of these days, I am going to do it.
But you don't go to the gym? What kind of right-wing
I
Christian Chad are you?
I don't go work out that much. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu occasionally. I have a gym out by where I live now that I'm going to, but just waking up in the morning, like I'll be laying in bed. It's just so much easier just to grab my laptop and work from
Mm-hmm.
laying in bed or doing that. I'm just like,
Do you see my shoulders? I know this. I know this life.
uh,
I know the wake up and work and don't go to the gym life. Okay, I do have a question though. And this goes back to something that came up at trial. Well, almost came up at trial, was actually excluded from trial. There's an old video of you
I'm not
throwing
gonna
hands.
comment on that.
We're
Oh,
not.
yeah. Oh,
I'm not talking about the parking lot video, the throwing hands video, where it looked like your sister got in a scuffle and you went to go in and engage with that. Do you want to talk about that incident at all?
I'm not gonna comment on that. I know a lot of people probably have. I may talk about it in the future, but right now I'm just not gonna talk about that.
All right. For the record, I think if my sister was getting in a scuff, and I don't care who started it, I'd go in and I'd defend the shit out of her too. So you don't have to comment, but I will. Take that, media. um, Isaac Pryor says, "Hope you're doing well, Kyle. Hope to see you on Grand Thumb's channel sometime soon."
Maybe.
I don't know who Grand Thumbs is either. I don't know
He's
any of
he's a
these people.
YouTuber.
Is he a gun guy or something?
It's a gun community.
How many gun channels are there on YouTube? I have lost track of them at 2. The only
Several
one I
hundred.
watch is Brandon Herrera. That's it.
Brandon Herrera is hilarious.
My audience really wants me to ask you a question. I don't want to ask it, so I'm going to skip that one. Patrick T. I will probably eventually. Patrick
Text
T.
it in the private chat.
At what point will anyone concerned with liberty support HR 25 with term limits? I have no idea what HR 25 is. That just term limits for Congress? Because the only people who will not support term limits for Congress is Congress. Congress never votes to limit their own power. They just don't do it. The Field, the only reason Kyle was a banner for a moment was that Turbo Cock Binger was trying to rob him of his freedom. Did you feel that Binger and Krause coming after you was personal? Like, do you feel like they made it personal?
Oh, they absolutely did make it personal. Like they when they started hiding evidence and messing with video stuff, it was 100% personal and it was ridiculous.
Yeah, what was your favorite thing that Mark Richards did during the trial?
Get me acquitted.
Well, okay, that's cheating. Okay, either individual thing he did or said. How's that?
He was honest with me. He said, "Kyle, this can go one or both this way or the other way." And he was like, "I'm going to defend you to the best of my ability, but once those 12 jurors go into that room, it is out of my control."
What about hocus pocus out of focus? What about that one?
That one was hilarious. He came up with that one. And we were actually given a jury room, a deliberation room where we could hang out. And he came up with that while writing his closing. He was going to talk about it. I don't know where he came up with that, but it was funny.
It was great. It was this perfect generational irony, I'll call it. Like that would come in a movie, right? Like you're the young kid who's sitting there on trial and Mark's like this venerable old attorney, like doesn't understand the internet or whatever that thing is. And then he's out there and he's like, he drops the oldest man lingo ever to describe this video. How did you guys feel? Can you tell me this? Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
So he almost used if the pixels don't fit, if the pixels don't fit, you must acquit. He almost said that.
It would have been funny, but it would have been way too cheesy. And I think it's way better that he came up with his own thing. I really do. How did you feel when they dropped that FBI drone video on you?
I was
Or not the
kind of
FBI.
pissed off.
There was the two drone. It was the
I know
FBI
what you're
drone
talking
video
about.
was one, and then there was the other drone video.
I was kind of pissed off because we knew they had it for the longest time, and I'm like, okay, now that they know they're losing, they're gonna come up with a completely different story. Like, come on, like pick a story, banger.
That was one of the most frustrating things in the world for me watching that because Schrader, the judge, just did not seem to grasp what was happening. You guys brought in the experts to talk about interpolation and the adding of pixels, and it's like I think Schrader was just stuck in Jeopardy questions the whole time. He had no idea.
That was hilarious. The Jeopardy questions he was asking. I you know how hard it was to not laugh when he started doing Jeopardy with the jury?
I don't know how you sat through that entire trial remaining relatively stoic. I mean, frankly,
I was drawing pictures the entire time. I was sitting there and just like doodling with the pen and paper
yeah,
the
because what
entire
else are you gonna
trial.
do? You're there for like 8 hours a day, and you're not on the stand for 8 of those hours most days, right?
I mean, there was a couple times that CNN, a couple news articles pointed out Kyle's drawing during his trial. I don't know if you saw that. I think
Yeah,
you guys pointed it out once.
yeah. Well, but in love. That's
Uh,
probably why CNN pointed it out. They're like, "Oh shit, he is drawing."
yeah, so there was a couple times where I wrote over to my attorney. I'm like, is this dude fucking serious or is this dude kidding me?
How much were you
Um,
actually listening to the testimony of people? Did you like tune in and out, or were you pretty engaged, like while you were drawing or passing the time? Were you engaged in the testimony too?
I was listening to testimony. I was engaged in it, but I was just like, because I was extremely bored. I know that sounds bad, but I was that was the boredest thing I've ever like. It was my life, but hearing people testify for hours and hours, you know, you're an attorney.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. And the worst part for you is there's nothing you can do about it,
You know,
right?
somebody
Like,
just commented COD Mobile. I wish I had like I wish I could have pulled my cell phone out and played COD Mobile.
oh, there you go. That
What
would
was
have
that? Sorry,
gone
I didn't hear
very
that.
poorly. That would have gone very poorly playing Call of Duty in there.
You think I would have been held in contempt or something?
Yes. Yes. Also, the media would have ignited an effigy of you. Uh, Tell me about Four Doors More Whores.
It was a TikTok name.
Was a TikTok name. Why isn't it still a TikTok name? It's a brilliant name.
I have a wonderful girlfriend, and it's just it's it was a car thing. It was in the car community, and you
Is in the
know,
car community. Can you explain what Four Doors More Whores means?
I don't know what it means.
You don't know what it means? What
Four
did it mean
doors,
to you?
yeah, four-door car, with more horsepower or something.
More horsepower. So this is a Charger versus Challenger question.
Yeah.
John Stern, question for Kyle. Did the history of the people you defended yourself against affect you any? Yeah, because you didn't know at the time who these people were, but
I'm not going
afterwards
to
you
comment on that.
okay. Oh yeah, I gotcha. Kyverdam says, "Hey Kyle, I'm originally from Kenosha, and thanks for caring about the community that I was born and raised in." That's it. John Marshall, how weird was it when Binger brought up Four Doors More Whores?
I was like, "Are you serious, dude?" But then it took everything in me to not laugh and lose it because I really wanted to say, what I wanted to say was, "Why does it matter?"
It didn't, but they didn't have anything. They had
There
to
were so many
taint
times.
your public perception. There were so many times what?
Mhm. There were so many times during my cross-examination where I just wanted to say, "Are you serious? Did where did you get your law degree? Why are you asking me that? Like, don't you have kids? Don't they play video games? If they don't, that would explain a lot, but oh my goodness.
He doesn't have kids.
I think he has kids.
Binger?
I think he has kids.
I thought Binger was into dudes.
No, he is into dudes, but his wife divorced him because of that reason, I believe. Not gonna like make assumptions, but there are a lot of photos going out there.
I mean, Flufferboy 2004 or 2002 or whatever was his email address.
Yeah. Is that verified? Did we ever figure out that to be legit?
Kyle, here's what I've learned in life. Everything that happened to you, don't take this the wrong way, because what happened to you should not have happened to anybody ever. But the way everything happened was cosmically perfect. Like you had one of the most ironclad self-defense cases that could possibly exist. It happened on video. That it happened at the worst time possible. Like everything had to be perfect. Otherwise, you would have been burned as an effigy on the altar of Black Lives Matter. So everything was cosmically perfect. 100% that's true. You know his email was Flufferboy because if it, like everything else was perfect, that domino fell in line with the rest of them because without it, the world wouldn't make sense. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true.
definitely Flufferboy Binger. Okay, there's a huge chat from Patrick T. He says the fair tax HR 25 117th act of Congress, 23% flat consumption tax term limits is what political science undergrads used to already know about. Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is a big thing that I've pushed forever is consumption tax versus income tax. Income tax doesn't make sense. First of all, it allows people with huge amounts of money and not a lot of income to dodge taxation or whatever, but also term limits for Congress, of course. I think at the end of term, every congressman should be killed. What do you think about that?
I think every life is precious, and I think that
But what about the
that's not the
argument
right
that they're not
answer.
even people?
Well, I know some congressmen and congresswomen, and I will assure you that they are real.
I didn't say they weren't real. I just said they weren't people. I'm kidding.
I'm gonna
I'm kidding.
take somebody's thing. I'm gonna not comment on
Just
that.
plead the fifth. It's okay.
I take 5.
uh, let's see. Kyle, when talking to Mark Richards, do you ever try to steer the conversation to get him say the word havoc? Havoc.
I don't get it.
He said havoc like a million times during the trial, and he said it in that deep, beautiful Wisconsin accent. It was great.
You
It
gotta
became,
remember, so, like, I'm from the Midwest. You're from the
you don't
Midwest.
even hear it.
No, Minnesota's not really from the Midwest, no offense.
I'm from Texas, man. I'm a transplant. So
No. Um,
I hear
but
everything.
Wisconsin, so I don't really recognize the accent.
Like my wife today, she was asking me to hang up some of her dresses, and she's like, "It's on the bar. You got to hang it on the bar in the closet." And I was like, "The bar? Like Jesus, woman! It's
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin." Uh,
Wisconsin.
Harris, interviewer is a coward. Rittenhouse thinks he's above the law. He's more of a girl than OJ. Wow, we
Wait,
both got
what?
our asses kicked in that one.
Ow.
What am I a coward about? Now I'm scared to know. Malcolm Palm says you're a national hero and a badass, Kyle. God bless you. Let's go. Brandon says 9. Don't read the chat. You're not supposed to read the chat during an interview, Kyle. The chat is.
Oh, why not?
I don't know. That's what I think everybody should personally.
I read the chat. Like, I'm reading every comment that comes in.
There's no way you're doing. Well, you're only on one of the platforms though. There's 3 open right now. A true patrician Chad like me, actually, I have 4 chat windows open. So
I have it on my cell phone too.
Here we go. Harris says interviewer doesn't ask good questions. Kyle put himself in a situation where he could murder others. Coward. Oh, so there it is. There it is. I didn't ask you the good question. Kyle, why did you put yourself in a situation to murder people?
I was attacked and I defended my life. I was chased down. I was ambushed. I did what I had to do to survive. And I think anybody in my situation would have done the same thing. Whoever commented that is, I want to see what they would have done in a similar situation.
Do you know what they would have done?
they would have probably not defended themselves and get killed,
They would
or
have
they
put
would
their
have
thumb in
defended
their
themselves.
asshole, laid down on the ground, and begged for mercy from people who hate them. But here's what they'll say. Well, I would have never been there in the first place. What do you say to people who say that to you? Well,
This is
you
the
should have
United States of America, right?
you should have never been there, Kyle. Why were you there?
This is the United States of America, right?
So you shouldn't have been there. I wouldn't have let my kids go.
Okay, you may not have let your kids go, but I shouldn't have been there. Why should have anybody been there? Why were they burning down the city? Why
Who
was
cares? You
anybody
you
there?
knew they were, so why'd you go and fan the flames?
Why would I fan the flames? What do you mean by that?
Well, you
Is
went, you
putting
brought
out
a
fires.
no, you brought a
Are,
gun to an incendiary situation. You
so
were
did
the spark in the
half of
powder keg.
Antifa. So did half of Antifa.
But why did you, Kyle? This is Mr. Harris has a very good question here.
Because
It's
it's my
such a
Second Amendment right, Mr. Harris. And it's in the
exactly.
Constitution right here.
It,
Second
it's
Amendment
your
Constitution.
it's your Second Amendment right, and it's also absolutely your right to be there. It is your right to help your community. Did you go there intending to shoot people, Kyle?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Because nobody wants to ever like I don't want to have to take somebody's life. I don't want to shoot somebody. I went down there to protect people and like put out fires and
I've heard
provide
that
first aid.
I've heard that people who support the Second Amendment have masturbatory fantasies about getting to exercise their rights, and that's how they justify their murder. Is that true, Kyle? I'm asking the hard questions now, just so you know. I've got to ask them because Harris, the retard who licks his shit off of his own thumb, can't figure out how to ask a question. So I've got to ask the hard ones for him.
Where does that even come from? Like the people who support the Second Amendment use that as an excuse to kill people?
It's
I don't
the
think
most dumb thing that exists. There now, to be fair, there's certainly people who say something like, "Man, if I'm ever in that situation, I'm pulling the gun and shooting," right? But that's, in my opinion, that's puffery, that's bravado. That's not reality.
I mean, that's just people like saying stupid things. Like, granted, I think that's a stupid thing, and nobody should ever say that. And I think everybody should know better when they talk like that. But
I 100% agree. Also, Harris,
that's the biggest thing. People say stupid shit that gets themselves in trouble every day. They'll say something stupid, and then next thing they know, God forbid, they're in a self defense case, and it's being played right in front of court, or they're using it against them.
I
You
have a
know, it's another
feeling
one that I
Harris.
heard.
I have a feeling Harris has a habit of saying stupid things. I mean, just a thought, just a guess.
You know, so in my for my fun thing, I find joy out of this every night before I go to bed. I go through my Twitter DMs. The only reason I'm saying this now is because it is about my bedtime. I'm actually way past it. But I look at my death threats I get on a daily basis, and I find joy. And sometimes I even post the fun ones.
Yeah, you just posted one yesterday or something, or
I find it
today.
fun.
It's amazing. Everybody's really tough behind a keyboard, right?
And then so I get apologies for somebody apologized to me, sent me a DM. It's like, I'm so sorry. I'm then like, why did you do it if you're sorry? I'm
Yeah,
like,
always the
don't put your name in
question.
it.
Why don't you
So
just
some
stand by
person
what
who
you say?
so I made a police report actually because this one creeped me out. I didn't post it, but some person who lives in the state of Texas, not far from me, DM'd me and said, "I'm going to show up to your house and fucking murder you." And saying, "I know where you live." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to send this to the police department."
That's a
No idea
federal
what happened.
crime. That's a
Yeah, I
federal
don't know if he
crime.
got
Don't do
charged.
that, ladies and gentlemen. That's a federal
Workplace,
felony.
put his workplace name and everything all over social media. One simple Google search knew everything about him.
You know what? So normally I don't believe death threats as a rule. As a rule, when someone says, because here's how it usually comes out on social media. I got death threats. And it's always a defense to when someone has done something absolutely catastrophically stupid. And then like, oh, I got death threats. And then they try and garner sympathy. So as a rule, I don't believe them until receipts show up. With you, I 100% believe that you get death threats basically constantly because people now the real question I have to ask, Kyle, is why did you shoot 3 black people? Like, did you target them based on their race? Is that what happened?
That is one of the stupidest things that people say. Well, one of the stupidest questions I have ever heard in
What
my
about
entire podcasting thing.
what about this?
And
Do you love black people?
yeah,
You
yeah, we're all God's children.
that's such a crazy one that has gone on. I have a friend. So this is like not in public social media space, but I have a friend who has a connection to Kevin Hart, the comedian, right? Little short guy. And he ended up on the phone with him. And my friend's super conservative, and he was talking to him. And he asked Kevin Hart about Kyle Rittenhouse. He's like, that guy that shot black people? He's like, he didn't shoot black people. Like, he had to educate Kevin Hart. And this is after you were acquitted. Like, this is well into this thing. He had to educate Kevin Hart that you didn't shoot any black people at all. And he was blown away by it. He had no idea.
I meet so many people. So Skylar, my girlfriend, she does modeling, and I went to one of her modeling shoots, and the makeup artist did not like me. So I explained my story, and by the end of it, she like gave me a hug and everything. She was a black lady, and she was like, I had no idea, and she said the media was brainwashing her.
Yeah, they absolutely were. It was crazy. Okay, so I know it's getting late for you. So what I'm going to do is try to lightning round through some of these chats that people have sent in, because when people donate, I try and do that. And I know you have to go pretty soon. So let's hit some of these if that's okay.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Tennessee Marine says, what do you hope your future will be? Married with kids and still online in public? Married with kids living a normal life? What do you want your story to go towards? And what will you do to get there? As fast as you can answer that, like 7-part question.
Okay, so yes, I want to get married and have children. I don't know if I want to. My kids, when I do have children, are definitely not going to be put in this media world. They're going to be protected and shielded from it. They're not going to be allowed to have cell phones until they're 30.
Absolutely.
And for right now, for my career, I just want to do speaking engagements, and that's the only career I can do. That's the only job that's the only way I can really make money. And
yeah, it's tough for you because it'd be hard for you to get a job anywhere traditional.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the good news about speaking engagements and social media is, though? You can make so much more money than doing a traditional job.
It pays really well, but the lawyers are expensive.
Lawyers are very, very expensive. Do you have an ongoing legal fund?
Yes, you can go to GiveSendGo, www.givesendgo.com/Kyle Rittenhouse to help me fight this lawsuit. And it's expensive. It's going to cost a lot of money, but I'm confident we're going to come on top, and we're gonna win in a court of law again, and we'll prove my innocence to a jury of 12 if we have to, again for a second time.
So here you go, guys. GiveSendGo.com/Kyle Rittenhouse will bring you right to this page. Right now, he's at almost 70,000 raised. Goal is 500,000. Look, he's got a long fight ahead of him. There's a civil rights case against him. We can talk about this more when Kyle's not on the show, because I know that he should not be talking about that case, but we definitely can. And I'll make it an agenda item to get, because I wasn't really aware. Like, I think I knew in the ether somewhere that you were being sued, but I wasn't really aware of what was going on with that. I'll make it a priority to catch up on that and let people in my audience know, because we don't want to, look, people have supported me, people supported you, and if we can channel some of that support your way towards the ongoing fight, because the trick is, if you can't get someone in prison, especially if they're justified, what you try to do is bankrupt them. That's a literal tactic of these nasty, horrific people. And Kyle didn't say anything. Everything Kyle has ever said to me in private about the other people is nothing but glowing praise. They're all wonderful people who are just trying to exercise their civil rights. I say they're fucking monsters, and I hate them with all of my being. But Kyle's super nice about it. So
just to clear that up, I have never said that. I said there are people that have violently tried to attack me and tried to murder me and take my life away from me. I do not believe they were exercising their civil rights. I believe they were rioting and burning
I
if they
meant the
didn't
people
just put that
suing
out
you,
there.
but I was also joking. It was clearly a joke. It's clearly a joke. This is a joke bit for me to say that all these people are hideous monsters. It's ridiculous, and they again, they do not care about actual civil rights. So sorry. I was making a joke to the internet and the world. That's how I do my life. Slagla says in Kermit voice, no, I'm not going to read. I'm not going to ask him this question. This poor man. He says, actually, judging by your, oh, damn. He's judging your TikToks. We'll read that when you're gone. Pie Baker says, Kyle. Oh my God. I'm not going to ask that one either. The Kindly Man 555. Been following Kyle's case since the night of the incident. Watched almost every minute of your trial through Nick's stream. So happy you got the verdict you deserved. Wish you all the best.
Well, thank you very much.
Very cool. Juice Weasel, God bless you, Kyle. Everyone that matters is glad you made it through that night and the trial.
Well, thank you very much.
Snodge says, become uncancelable. Join the backed.buy revolution. No payment processors, no banks, only freedom. I'll send this info along. A friend of mine has created a system that runs entirely on cryptocurrency with no banks, no money processors, nothing, no middlemen at all. So I'll send you the info on that if you want to look into it, and then you and your team can determine if it's the right move. Snodge says, Kyle, show my man Ricada up and make your back.buy profile first. Banks will do what they did to Black Rifle Coffee. Back.buy can help mitigate that. McRae, hi Rackets and Kyle, no question, but I hope you're doing well. Keep fighting the good fight. Even if I don't know if there will ever be any progress, glad to have you out there.
Thank you very much.
But we will know if there's progress because two things. One, you've got an active lawsuit that I'll be following. And two, you're a public figure now. You're out there. How does that feel? Did you seek out to be famous? I mean, your Four Doors More Whores profile suggested that all you wanted to do was be famous. I'm just trying to be famous.
It sucks. I hate it. It's hard to go to Walmart and go grocery shopping. But you know, it's my life, it's my career. It doesn't feel like I'm a public figure sometimes. Sometimes I forget and I'll be like walking into HEB or something and I'll be like getting recognized. I'm just like here to get milk. And I go out of my pajama bottoms sometimes in my slippers and
you can't do that. You should wear a three-piece suit everywhere.
No, I mean, I wear button downs, but
you got to wear a three-piece suit. The next time you have to defend yourself to the entire world, which hopefully will not involve a gun, but will involve a microphone, you better be in a three-piece suit. That's all I'm saying. Wait, when you go buy milk, is it skim milk, 1%, 2%, or whole milk?
1%.
1% milk?
Mm-hmm.
Why aren't you what's wrong with you? Why don't you drink whole milk?
I don't like whole milk. It tastes gross.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure I can continue this interview much longer. I'm very offended. A flawed man of God says, yeah, I dip my Oreos in a whole milk. Well, I have to drink lactose-free whole milk because I'm old and stupid and my body doesn't process lactose anymore, but it's still whole milk. At least I tell myself that at night while I cry.
It's almond milk, isn't it?
No, God. No. Have you ever tried dipping an Oreo in almond milk?
No,
it doesn't soak the milk up. Something's wrong, like with the chemical composition of an Oreo and almond milk, they repel each other. It's gross. I've tried this. It's not actually any good. But lactose-free milk, like with the little enzyme in there, that's fine. A flawed man of God says, Kyle, God bless. Plug for my YouTube channel, Flawed Man of God, a comfortable and relaxed spot to talk about God, faith, and the Bible. Great folks in the chat, new and seasoned Christians alike. Yes, and I've actually been on a Flawed Man of God's podcast. He's a good friend. Check him out. He says, join in. You won't be disappointed. Most weeknights at 8 p.m. Eastern. Rumble episodes resuming when they make it easier to stream. I'm lazy. Quixotica. Hey, Nick, loving the stream. I hope you don't mind if I pay you to shill for my wife's small business. We'll do that one later. Thrushbeard, Gage Groskwitz's chair breaking was the best. No balls. Did you see that when his chair broke?
I did see that. Yes.
And he fell like 4 stories to the floor. God, that was so funny.
Okay. It was like a staggering. It was like like I don't know if you watched the video. It's like you slowly see it go down, and then just what I think happened is like the legs were bending outward, and they just caved out.
Yep.
I don't know what type of chair he was sitting on though. Like,
A
was he sitting
poverty
on a
chair,
stool?
apparently. I don't know, man. I can't figure out. Like, I've never had a chair just die in real time. I've only seen that happen to people who are like 900 pounds. Like, they get one of those plastic chairs and they're like, oh, God. And then they can't get out because they're wedged between the armholes. But like, Gage isn't that big. So I don't know. Did you watch his DWI arrest video?
I watched bits and pieces of it.
It got really long and boring, but it was kind of funny for a bit.
Was it obvious he was drunk?
Yeah. Dude was hammered out of his mind.
Do you practice OWI law? Do you still practice law, Nick?
I really don't. I mostly just do this. But that's the type of law that I tended to not practice. I did a couple of them, but I told the people, I said, they had blown high, and I was like, if you're hiring me, you're pleading guilty. And I'll negotiate a good plea for you. If you don't want to do that, I will recommend someone else for you, because I don't really practice the DWI law personally. I mean, I'm not here to judge people or whatever, but I drive a bunch of kids around, and if I got someone off of a DWI and then they like rammed into my car, I'd have problems with that.
Do you drive a soccer mom van?
No, God. No, now I drive a Navigator, but I used to have a Nissan like full size passenger van. But,
How many
I had
kids
to
do you
drive
have, Nick?
5.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of kids. I did used to have a minivan a long time ago. I hated it. God, it was terrible.
I could just see you in a minivan, just getting out.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks for that. That makes me feel good about my life.
That's good. You're welcome.
I also
Nick.
have a Mustang GT 500, you bastard.
What color or what's your license plate?
I'll send you a picture. Breton says, watching the verdict read during your trial was extremely emotional for a lot of us. I'm so grateful the jury listened to the facts and made the right decision. Cheers to you and your peacefulness in your life. Here's a question I have based on that. Did you guys ever feel that the jury was not on your side?
No. I mean, the jury, like, if you could see the jury's face sometimes, it was just an absolute disgust with half the things the state was saying.
Yeah, I got that impression, but we couldn't see them. So we're constantly like, God, in the dark. Like, oh, how's the jury taking this? We hope we know how the jury's taking this, but we didn't actually know. That was infuriating. You know, one message, Richards could have just texted me one time. Okay. I feel really bad though, because he had to turn his phone off from all the people saying, like, yelling objection at him. And I think that was my fault.
Yes, it was. I was going to call you out, but I decided not to. But you opened the door.
Call me out on everything.
So there was a reason we weren't objecting to everything. One, it didn't hurt us. Two, it just didn't make any sense to waste the time. We already knew how the judge was going to rule if we objected. Like, we just didn't want to act like that hurts us. Like, if he says anything or irrelevant, we don't want the jury to have that thought if we object.
Will you apologize to Mark personally from me? Like, I felt really bad when I saw him do the interview. He's like, I had to turn off my phone because I had 10,000 people texting me object. Like, it's like, oh God, I'm sorry. I felt so bad about that.
The trial was crazy. Like, I will say, what a lot of people did, both on the left and right, with the threats, the state had to have like panic buttons installed in their house. And same with like Mark Richards, like people were threatening to kill people on both sides. I'm just like, people need to calm down and stop threatening lawyers.
Yeah, that's crazy. No one should ever threaten anybody. No one should have contacted Mark Richards to tell him to object. Like, that's insane. That should never have happened. That was not my intention.
We were sitting there and I just see his phone going, like, blowing up, and I'm just like, what is going on? And then I see you screaming. I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, I was like, wow, that wasn't very cool, Nick.
I never told people to contact him at all. I do feel bad about that. Wait, okay. So obviously you guys knew that we were streaming the trial over here. So when did you guys find out that
Day one, jury selection.
day one during jury selection?
It blew up.
How much did how angry were they at me most of the time?
We were more focused on getting acquitted. Um,
Okay.
we didn't really pay attention other than I watched a couple of your clips on uh, Twitter. That's where I saw a lot of your reactions, and I thought your reactions were pretty funny.
Oh, good. Good. My goal was, of course, not to piss anybody off at all. It was just to put on a good show and let people watch this trial that I felt was really important. Do you know that your trial is the first trial I ever watched as like a thing?
I thought you did Mr. Chauvin's trial, Derek Chauvin's trial.
No, I wanted to, but
Who
I
did
didn't.
Derek Chauvin's trial? I watched his
Nope.
trial in so many.
No one did the full thing. No one with lawyers did the full thing. I covered parts of it, but bits and pieces. But when opening arguments started in Chauvin's trial, I was driving my family down to Florida, and I was pissed because I was going to do his trial, like I did yours, but I didn't get the opportunity.
Well, maybe if you'd driven faster.
I was driving a van at that point
It's
in
only
time.
16 hours.
Oh no, it's longer. It's longer from
18
here.
from 18
Yeah.
from Minnesota. Because you're
Yeah, and
about four and
with
a half
kids,
from.
that makes it like 26. God, it's awful. You said
I'm
you
going
want to
on a
have
road trip
kids,
for
but
the next.
I just want to warn you, children make road trips take forever. Wait, you're going on a road trip?
Road trip in a couple weeks, so I'm excited for that.
Nice. Tina Alpha, people are right. You're not asking the hard hitting questions. Now ask Kyle. No, I'm not going to ask him the question. I'm not going to do that to him.
What's the question?
Why would you do this to yourself?
Private
Okay.
chat.
No,
It says
you've
for the
you've
private
asked.
chat. Oh,
You've
okay.
asked it. Now you've opened the door. Okay. The chat wants to know, are you familiar with anime, Kyle Rittenhouse?
I'm. I do not watch anime.
You don't watch anime at all? You've never watched an anime in your life?
I don't watch anime.
Do you know what a futanari is?
I don't. I don't want to. All right, next question. Let's.
You did this. You brought this on yourself. Okay, so a futanari is a biological female anime character that also has a giant penis. So when that happens, Kyle, you did this. Reminder, I didn't want to go here. This is your fault. Should that have balls or not?
That's very disturbing.
I've dodged this question for you. And you're like, no, tell me what it is. You didn't trust me, Kyle.
I'm gonna start having to do pre-approved questions.
You don't have to answer, but the correct answer is balls. I'll just tell you. Aya Kamir says, Kyle, you had a lot of support from my California liberal college. My students and fellow instructors love you and cheered you as well. Take care and live your best life. Hey, wow. It's kind of surprising. Ovid says, Kyle, do you prefer your futanari with biceps or without? Oh my God. Unix EDU. Hey, Kyle, paid for my kid to go through TAMU. Proud Aggie dad here. He's a nuclear engineer. Embrace your Aggie bros. Professors, wear the ring always. They'll take care of you always. But you don't go to Texas A&M.
Yeah, I mean, I go to a lot of the football games with some great friends of mine, but
You had they grabbed a screenshot of your face from that question. I have to share it real quick because it's perfection.
oh gosh.
Oh God. Oh, perfect. But there was some controversy because you had a school that you like mentioned that you were looking to go to, and then you weren't able to go there or something, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about that. I made the mistake. I'll own it. I made the mistake of announcing where I was going to school on bad advice from some former people in my life. Not
Mm.
going to make that mistake again. I'm not going to tell people where I'm going to school.
Did you have a lot of bad advice?
I did, but we aren't going to talk about that, Nick.
I didn't say anything other than did you have a lot of bad advice? That's all I asked.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Kyle Bogue, I was watching the stream when that happened and could clearly see you acted in perfect self-defense. Amazing trigger control in a completely chaotic mess. Grats on your acquittal. Best of luck to you in your future endeavors. Okay, I do have one question I really did want to ask you about. So we talked about the, you know, the reason why you were there. The reason why you were there was obvious. You had a right to be there. You had a right to be involved in your community. You had a right to carry a gun, all of those things. No one is denying that. Knowing what you know now, today, would you have gone in hindsight?
In hindsight, would I have gone?
Would
Knowing what
you?
I know now, knowing that I would be dragged through the mud and have the nightmares I do about having to defend myself and the dreams
Right.
of having to attack somebody, somebody attacking me. I don't think I would have gone because I don't think anybody should have to like live with the nightmares I have, live with what I deal with on a daily basis. But hindsight is always 2020. I can't go back and change that I was violently attacked and I was almost killed.
No, that is, to me, in my opinion, that is absolutely the correct answer. Because any other way you answer that kind of sounds like justifying the accusation that you were there to exercise your Second Amendment rights, if you know what I mean. Like it comes across wrong. I don't think anybody wants to go through what you went through, because that's the whole thing, right? We all train, we get our permits, we buy guns with the hopes that the only thing we ever shoot's a metal target downrange, right?
Yeah, I mean, nobody ever wants to like unless you like people that expect to take a life are just sick and twisted unless like you're joining the military and like special forces and you sign up for that job. But anybody that goes through like a CCW permit and says, "Hey, I'm getting this gun because I just know that day is gonna come where I'm gonna have to kill somebody," is fucked up and sick and twisted in the head. And I believe everybody has a right to own a gun, but I don't think that person should own a firearm. I
Yeah.
think if you have that ulterior motive in your head to where like, yeah, I'm gonna get to use this one day. I don't think you should have the right.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree with you, because no, let me mildly disagree with you. I think you should have the right. I don't think you should exercise it.
That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Everybody has the right because you should have the right to self. You have the right to self defense, but you should not exercise that right to own a firearm if you have that. If you
Yeah.
have
Because
that in your head,
I think everybody has the right to say what they want, but I wish some people wouldn't exercise it because I think they're stupid, for example. Like, similar premise with less catastrophic results. Um, oh, yes, we do need to talk about this real quick. ZMO 9090 says, can you talk about the Southern Star Brewery issue? You are going to go to a free speech, like, cancel culture event, and you get canceled from it. What the hell
go
is
woke,
that?
go broke. So they hosted a bunch of pride stuff and like a bunch of political things. They claim to be apolitical, but they go ahead and cancel this event that Defiance Press is putting on. They say that it doesn't align with their views and they just in good faith could not host this event. And I'm like, what the hell did I do wrong? I defended myself. I'm going here to talk about the censorship that I face and that my supporters have faced, and what you guys are doing is censoring this event. It's you guys are no better than the woke mob. You guys knew I was going to be there, so they bent to the woke mob, and it kind of pisses me off a little bit because you think it's over. I'm acquitted. I'm a free man, but then you still have companies like that doing it.
Yeah,
But
it's
thank
it's
God,
crazy.
Lone Star Convention Center is not going to shut us down. Um, 2 more days, the 26th, I think. Today's the 20. Oh,
Today's the
um,
20. Well, we're now in the 25th.
so tomorrow, 26 is is when the rally is going to be held. The rally against censorship. You can get VIP tickets for a chance to meet me backstage, and you can hear me talk about censorship.
That's awesome, man. G-Man, North Carolina. Why didn't you ever bring defamation suits against big names that defamed him? What are the statutes of limitations on that kind of claim? I assume you don't want to answer that
Still working
question.
on them. Still
Yeah.
working on them. And
Bobby Dun
all about anti-slap laws, and then you just want to get it right because you don't want to get hit. Like, say you lose one, and then they have a slap law in that state.
then
Like,
you're paying them hundreds of thousands of dollars for the lawsuit,
exactly.
even though they clearly defamed you. Yeah, that's it's a mess. That's a mess. Typically statutes of limitations between states are 1 or 2 years on those things.
I think
So
3 years what we're looking at. One of
sure.
them.
And it all depends on what state and jurisdiction you're in. Bobby Dunlap says, please ask Kyle, is it normal if my wife has a boyfriend? Is that normal if someone's wife has a boyfriend?
I would say not, and I would say I would talk about that with your wife and maybe ask for a divorce.
Don't have, if you have a spouse, don't have a boyfriend
I'm
or
gonna say
girlfriend,
it.
guys.
Don't be a cuck.
There you go. Nailed it. Nailed it. My name isn't important says it's really odd that Greta Thunberg and Rittenhouse have the same birthday. Also,
And
why
you
didn't
see, that is my whole argument. Those zodiac compatibility signs do not work. Do you think me and Greta Thunberg would be compatible?
No, you're never compatible with your own person on the zodiac. It's always some other zodiac that you're compatible with.
Okay, but they say like,
You're the same person. That's what it is.
yeah, we're not.
Would you date Greta? Like
No.
like obviously you have a much more beautiful girlfriend, but if that didn't work out and you're like, Greta's like, hey Kyle, I really like how you handled that AR.
I'm very happy with the girlfriend I have. I'm very happy with Skylar. I'm not interested, nor am I looking.
You said she gets a lot of hate. Is it just because she dates you?
Yeah. People call her a gold digger. They call her all these like foul names. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Um, they say she wants to take my money, and I'm just like, what money do I have to take? She sees like how
She
much I pay
already
in
took
legal
it,
bills.
y'all. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh,
Wait, okay, so
uh,
here's I'm trying to think. Do you think the internet treats women differently than men based on what you've seen with her and you?
yeah, I would agree. I would think that the internet, like, I have so-called supporters that will message her and be like trying to like get with her. That will say these nasty things.
Ooh,
They'll send them pics of their like of their
of their
of
dicks,
their
right?
privates. Yeah,
Yeah, I did that. I'm joking. I'm kidding.
Nick, I will tell your wife.
I'm completely kidding. That's such a weird thing. I don't understand the dick pic thing at all. Like
I got
as a concept, I don't understand it. And so then the people like your supporters sending her like, "Hey girl, what's up? When you're done with Kyle, how you
pretty
doing?"
much. So I get dick pics, and it's the most disturbing thing. Like, I go through all my messages, scanning
I
them,
did
and I'll
that
click
too.
a photo. Ugh. And
How
I'll
do you think
open
I
it, and
got
I'll
this
just be
interview, guys?
traumatized.
No, I'm
Ugh.
joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Don't send dick pics. That's weird. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. You get dick pics from guys. Are they like pickup dick pics? Are they like, "Hey Kyle, how's it going? My name's Jerry," or whatever?
Okay, so I'll send you. I don't want to dox anybody really, but I have this one
If you
person.
send
This
me
one.
someone else's penis, I'm gonna come to Texas and kick your ass personally.
I'm not gonna send you a screenshot of somebody else's penis. It is this one guy who has a crush on me, and that has been hitting on me and trying to get with me for the longest time. And there's a dude. It's a guy in his mid-50s. Started
Yeah.
out as a very nice message. Hey man, I support you. Several weeks later, hey, I think you're like that. It's just really disturbing.
You ever consider having a sugar daddy, Kyle? Get your money woes taken care of.
Uh,
Just borrow some of Skylar's underwear and wear that. Send him some pictures.
I'm good. I'm good. Whatever floats your boat, Nick. You do whatever you want to do in your own free
Hey, look, I
time.
said make money off your name and face because someone else will. I'm just saying you grift that pretty hard. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. Bastiat, Kyle, my last name is also Rittenhouse, and I was blown away by the amount of hate I got for that. Thank you for being brave enough to say not me, not today, and acting. I'm proud you never gloated and proud to share a surname.
I've learned a lot that there are a lot of Rittenhouses in this world, and I'm just curious. So, if you go on CCAP right now, The you know how you can look up the searches and look up Kyle Rittenhouse. I went on there the other day just because I occasionally check, and I thought
Yeah.
I was getting charged with something else because it's on Kyle Rittenhouse, and there's another Kyle Rittenhouse charged with some things in Wisconsin, and my heart saying, I'm like, I didn't do anything illegal. I haven't been there. Double jeopardy. What's going on? And then I clicked the case, and it was for an OWI.
Oh yeah, I have a question for you on that. Did you feel betrayed by Rittenhouse Rye whiskey?
What did they do?
They came out and told people. I don't know if this was my fault, but I bought Rittenhouse Rye. I was like, oh, Rittenhouse Rye. This will be fun to watch, with the trial stream. I bought some. And then they came out and they're like, we are not, they made a statement like they weren't in support of you and they weren't affiliated with you.
I'm not going to comment on that until I read it. I don't want to make any accusations about it until. Is it
I'll
good? Is
comment.
their bourbon good?
It's like a $25, $35 whiskey, but it's good for what it is, right? Like it's an inexpensive whiskey and it's like balanced and fine. Like I drink it again, except I don't because they were gay around you.
Oh, what are some of the notes you get from it?
I don't know. I get drunk notes from whiskey. I don't I don't do the notes thing. My whiskey review is simple. Like, does it taste like garbage? If not, then it's pretty good. That like honestly, I just love the whiskey flavors. I can't tell you like, oh, there's notes of apricot and grape in this. I don't know what that means. I don't know what a note of grape tastes like.
Like a very small hint of it, like a hint, like it has a little bit of a woody flavor, like an oak tree
Do you
flavor.
drink, Kyle? I mean, I know you do because you got caught at that bar drinking with a bunch of Proud Boys.
I enjoy my occasional glass of whiskey.
Do you? What's your go-to whiskey?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I'm gonna sit in uncomfortable silence until you answer the question.
Oh, this is gonna be a long time. So I'll read some of the comments while we do that.
Fine. You're not going to answer. Pinochet's helicopter tour says, can Kyle offer any insight as to what the FBI testified to? So the FBI testified we were cut out of that. They cut away the cameras on the FBI testimony. And then the testimony was ultimately thrown out. Can you,
Yes,
can
we
you
asked
talk
him
briefly about that?
he was just authenticating the footage, and that's what happened. And then we asked him what the tail number on the plane was, and then the state attorney stood up and objected, and right there it just turned into a shit show. We all went back into the judge's chamber. The judge said, I'm throwing this out, and we said, okay, cool. And the jury was instructed to not pay any attention to that.
It should never have been let in. It should never have been brought in the first place. That was insane. Runkle of the Bailey. What's up, Runkle? This is Ian Runkle. He was a panelist on some of the shows. He's also a good friend. He said, where'd you learn the shooting skills? I do 3-gun and your accuracy and control is solid. Also, would you ever come out to a shooting match?
I don't do competition shooting. So thank you, but I don't really I'm not I shoot, I train occasionally, but
You used to train with
before that
Dominic Black, right?
I have like no experience shooting. I maybe put 100 rounds to that rifle, but I don't have much experience.
How's do you still talk to Dominic?
No, not really.
Kind of sucks, right? Like that this event kind of clouds a relationship like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna talk about it. I still pray for him every day. Just like, sometimes like when you grow up, you mature, like your friend group changes, and that's okay
Yeah,
because we both go
100%.
off and we do our own thing. Like, are you friends with anybody from high school?
A couple people, but not many.
Most people aren't like don't like really have that strong friendship. I moved away.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that in any way. I was just it kind of sucks that like sometimes it's like an organic thing and this seems like it's an inorganic thing like and it may have been an organic thing all along, but we'll never know because this thing happened and intervened. That's all I'm saying is that it kind of sucks that there was an outside influence on any friendship.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it could have been an organic thing. I still pray for him and I still hope the best for him. But we just don't talk much.
Gotcha. Dustin C. Ask him if anything discovered or discussed by the stream affected or helped during trial. Anything like so I know you guys were focused on your work, but did anything from like watching either my stream or online commentary like play into any of the legal strategy?
I'm sure there was. I just can't think of it on the top of my head right now. Just
Gotcha.
can't come to I'll let you know though, and if I think. I know there's some things that definitely helped.
Peter Smith will do yours. Wait, I'll do yours when Kyle's gone. Let's see. We're almost through. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Where are we? Amazing Wireless. Nick, can you explain the day one defense strategy upon meeting Kyle in Richard's voice? No. Look, we're going to
Do
get
it.
him acquitted. We're going to go ahead and stop this unjust prosecution of my client. And we're going to do it in the most efficient and effective way possible. And what we're going to do is we're not going to object. I'm going to drop the N word during opening statements, and everything's really going to work out just fine. That's a joke, of course. I love Mark Richards, and all of my criticisms of him were completely, like they were criticisms that ended up not mattering. And I said that afterwards. I was like, Mark Richards proved me wrong by winning the case, or not wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He proved any criticisms that I had to be invalid by winning the case, because that was the most important thing. But I never thought that he wasn't on your side or anything like that.
Oh yeah, I mean, me and Mark, we definitely, me and Mark connect well, and I consider Mark Richards a great friend now. Like,
yeah, no, he seems like the type of guy who deeply and like, this is his after court interview. He seemed like the guy who deeply and personally connected with your case and you, and was the type of lawyer who is not going to be like, thanks, peace, but the type of guy who check up on you from time to time. Derna says, Kyle, in Afghanistan, we were fighting Afghans. You fought for us. God bless you and keep you all the days of your, you fought for us. God bless you and keep you all the days of your life. So I think they're talking about rights, Second Amendment rights and stuff like that. Anna P. Kyle, for everything that was going on that night and how many times you got hit in the head, you had great trigger control and reason as to what was a threat. What advice do you have for anyone who finds themselves in that position? It's a good question.
I don't know if I can really offer advice in that situation because we all will react differently. Like, you're gonna react differently than I am going to. We just can't really predict what our body's gonna do.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Like, you can never know. You can train and train and train all day, a million times. You said you didn't actually train that much.
No.
And you never know how you're going to react, because there are cops who train all the time, who do a bunch of professional training seminars from some really good trainers, and then they freeze up and lock up once bullets are flying or once they get hit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Snuggle Struggle says, I received this notification an hour late. Sorry if I already asked. Kyle, did you listen to the stream? Binger went on to discuss the trial afterwards, talk about Mattis. Happy for you, Kyle. We talked about that earlier. You listened to a couple minutes and then it was boring, which is true. Kyle, this is from the John Beck. Kyle, have you read On Killing and On Combat by Grossman? That might help explain some of the things you went through. Very interesting books.
Lieutenant Colonel Grossman. Yeah, I read On Killing.
You have?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was an okay book.
How is it, like, this is such a weird question to ask, but how is it having, knowing that you are the cause of someone being dead? Two people, right?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Okay.
I got to remind you, Nick, I am being sued and everything is under a microscope. And I guarantee there are going to be bits and pieces from this interview that they're going to play against me if this does go to a jury trial.
This interview, you haven't said anything problematic in this interview at all.
Oh, but you know how they like to twist everything.
Well, they better call me to authenticate it.
Oh.
Nick Brown
Jokes
says,
on everybody.
What was your reaction when Binger picked up the gun and pointed it at people in the courtroom?
Oh my goodness, that was ridiculous. Like, who does that? Like, that's gun safety 101.
It was the weirdest thing. He's like,
so I was at SHOT Show.
Yeah.
I was at SHOT Show, and I knew all the firing pins before had to be removed from any of the guns going in there. But I looked over, I was doing a meet and greet, and I saw a rifle just pointed in my direction when people like scanning, looking through the scopes, checking out a gun. And my heart just, I was just like, no, point it at the wall or something.
Point at the floor. Like, what are you doing?
Like they're just waving this rifle around, and I'm just like, Jesus.
Name 530 asks the actual hard question. Balls or no balls? We did that. Shredder. Is it safe to say that if the attackers had actually been black, they would still be alive, especially when accounting for the BPT? You don't have to answer that. Reaper of Worlds, do you have a plan after this? Or are you going to follow him in the grift? But I think that, or in the gift, I think that's to you. Do you have a, we talked about your plan. You're right now, basically you're a speaker, like you're an advocate. That's what you have been put into.
Yeah, that's my job.
Guitar Guru, what's the best way to get your biceps shredded? Jane Doe, Kyle, when did you first know the lawyers on Nick's channel were watching the trial? You said, do we have Wisco to thank? That was, you said day one. You guys knew about it. Bob Piffle, gotta quick to the desert island quiz. Stranded on an island. You have one album, one beverage, one movie, and one food. Take care of yourself, Kyle. God bless. So one album. What's your album? Go to.
Okay, one album, my Back Porch Country album on iTunes.
One beverage.
Water.
One movie.
That's an unfair question. Top Gun Maverick.
It's a good movie. I'd pick the original over that, but I liked them both. And one food. What's your food on the island forever? One meal you could eat forever.
Potatoes.
Did you read The Martian? Did you watch
No.
The Martian?
No.
You get tired of potatoes. Ryan Nelson, I think me, Kyle, and Brandon should...
Potato chips, French fries, potato skins, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes.
I know it sounds great. Ryan Nelson, I think me, Kyle, and Brandon should go out and shoot muzzle-loaded 50 cal just for the heck of it. Do you like going out and shooting guns? I think that gets kind of like put upon you because of the situation, but is that like, I know you liked guns a little bit before, but do you like guns? Like, is that a thing that you really enjoy?
I mean, going out to the range is fun. I shot at a 500 BFG. I don't know if you know what that it is, a Smith& Wesson 500 BFG. I'll send you a picture of it. Not
Send
now
it to
because
me.
I don't want to go out on the
Yeah,
stream.
later.
But it blew up in my face, and I had the pistol come back and it was a mess.
Wait, were you like one of those girls who are like, they're like hand them the 50 cal and they're like, bam, and it just hits them?
This was a round like this big coming out of a small revolver.
Yeah. But did the gun hit you in the face?
It came close.
Did you have a black eye like an abused woman? Just kidding.
No.
Don't answer that. Oh my God, that question was inappropriate. The Lonely Kakapo says, so you mentioned that you found out about Nick's stream the day one of the trial. May I ask how it felt to note there were thousands of people watching and rooting for you?
It felt good. It felt good that many people supported the right to self-defense and didn't like to see that their rights were being taken away. And yeah.
Snuggle Struggle. Hey, Kyle, that lady slipped you her number while you were in court. Did you end up giving her a jingle?
Who?
I don't think we want to talk about it. I'll message you about it later.
Was it the one that flicked me off in the courtroom?
It was someone's sister, we'll say. I think it was Huber's sister, wasn't it? Am I wrong on that, chat? I thought it was I thought it was Huber's sister or girlfriend. Huber's girlfriend. Gage's girlfriend? I think it was Huber's girlfriend. You shouldn't answer this question anyway, I think.
Yeah, nobody slipped me their number in a courtroom. But I know there's been rumors going around about Hannah Giddings, Mr. Huber's girlfriend, giving me her number. That's just not true. That's just not correct.
I think she said it in an interview. I think that's why the rumor exists. Weird. Okay. Unix EDU. So saw Kyle train Keanu Reeves for John Wick's next movie with Michalek. Is that true? Did you train Keanu Reeves?
No, no. I did meet Trent Tactical, and he gave me a very cool gift.
Dapper Dave 2021. Kyle, I know you hate being a public figure, but I think you were given a purpose to denounce and fight the corruption of the mainstream media and the woke mob. I hope you continue to use your influence to fight these evil people. Runkle the Bailey says, Kyle, if the Canadian government bans my rifles, do you want one?
Well, my biggest advice to you is get out of Canada. I talked to a lot of people at SHOT Show that are from Canada, and Canada, in their constitution, they actually don't have a right to self-defense.
They don't have a right to anything. The Canadian Constitution's an
Exactly.
embarrassment to humanity. Broseph Josenbaum, I'm not going to read your chat until Kyle's gone, and we'll answer that one. Attorney Mark Richards says, Mr. Rittenhouse, haven't I advised you of not being around shyster YouTube lawyers from Minnesota? Oh my God. Let me see. There's a couple more, and then I know you have to go, so we'll let you off really soon.
Keeping me up past my bedtime.
I know, but I'm selfish like that. ZMO 9090, what are your thoughts on the current sitting president and his ability of controlling records while attacking a past president? Thanks for this forum, guys. You had some tweets about this.
Yeah, so here's my opinion. I think it's ridiculous, but I'm starting to have a little bit of a change of heart. I think Joe Biden's being handled as a puppet. I don't think he knows he's actually president. I don't think he knows what's happening.
I think he's just waiting for ice cream. Like, I think they told him a couple years ago, like, Joe, we're going to buy you ice cream. He's just waiting. He's like, where is that damn ice cream?
Where's my freaking ice cream? Get my cane, honey.
Find me an 8-year-old to sniff.
But I kind of feel bad because he's kind of being used, and like I don't know if he actually believes any of the. I don't know if he believes any of the stuff that he's saying. Like he says that, like I don't know if you've seen past interviews where he said life deserves to be preserved. Now all of a sudden he's pro-abortion. Like,
yeah,
I think he's being fed this to a telescope, like to not a telescope. He's being fed this to people in his life and being forced to say this. He's being groomed and manipulated because
do you think that
actually
happens?
older abuse.
Do you think that happens more than people think?
Absolutely.
That there's people out there who like control what other people say?
Yes.
Julian Delfiki says, Ricada Law, Nick is a monster trying to bankrupt us at home via super chats and fun. That's true. Rumble username Kyle, when did you find out you murdered 3 black people? Even my very conservative father was under the impression that the people you shot were black until just a few weeks before the trial when God clearly guided your bullets to only hit white felons. Also, can you judge Nick's Richards impression? And Nick, you missed an opportunity to say sue me binger in a midget pedo impression. Okay. All right, let's do the 2 things. When did you find out you murdered black people? When was that? Or you heard that the media was like running that story is what I mean by you found out.
So the media was running that story. I learned that one quite early, very early on when people were saying I shot 3 black people. And I'm like, that's just not true. That's not what happened. And yeah.
How's my Mark Richards impression? Is it pretty good?
It's all right. Have you heard Mark Richards talk?
Have I heard him talk? I watched him talk through an entire trial.
That is a stupid question, but a little improvement.
We'll work on it, Kyle. Sometimes with impressions, you have to add a little bit of exaggeration here and there to make it goofy. Otherwise, it comes across uncanny valley. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's where it's like
You know what I'm talking about.
Rumble username says, Kyle is someone from across the country from Kenosha. It looked like the riots ended the night after you successfully defended yourself, while they seem to continue raging everywhere else. From your perspective, did things quiet down in the city after that, or were you more concerned with other things at that point? And Nick, you have to give your cut of this to Kyle, or at least Get him to set up a locals Rumble channel so I don't have to give Mama Sus a cut to send him beer. I mean, coffee money. Okay, so so the first thing, did things quiet down in Kenosha after the event?
I was really focused on the steel bracelets that they very generously put me in, so
Those are nice. Those are good accessory. Uh,
it's a
yeah.
fashion statement.
The next thing is, so you have this YouTube channel. You have like 80 something thousand subscribers. You don't have any videos yet. You're planning on doing this? You have so many people who are really good at this in your corner. I hate to like throw my hat in, but if you ever need anything, please let me know.
Perfect.
I'd be
You know
glad to
what I
help you
think I can
navigate it.
do? You can talk to a camera by yourself for like 4 or 5 hours on end. I
Mhm.
can't do that. I can do like short, maybe 30 minutes, but I need like a co-host. That's what I need to find.
There's a trillion people in this world who would co-host with you. Pick a good one. Don't pick the first one you find. But no, if you need anything, my number is open. So hit me up on that.
Perfect.
Dragon Fighter says, Kyle here. This is another Kyle. I thank God for watching over you and pray for your peace from here on out. Drop a P.O. box and I can send you my daughter's CD, or you can all follow Sable Breeze on streaming, social media, and EP outlets. Did I grift right? Trying to learn at the feet of the master. Pretty good. But do you have a P.O. box? A lot of people ask me, where can we send Kyle's stuff?
I don't have a PO box. I think I need to set one up. You know, that's tomorrow's Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today's Wednesday. I'm gonna go set up a PO box today.
Absolutely. And let me know. I'll tell people where they can send you stuff, gifts, whatever. You're not 21 yet, so they can't send you whiskey, right? Or are you 21? I can't remember.
I'm 20 now. I just turned 20 January 3rd.
Okay. Yeah, you got some time. So they shouldn't send you
Unfortunately.
whiskey just yet. Karamachat, Rackets, did you ever have sex with the Law Pope hat on? And it's a paper hat used for the purposes of sex magic. Okay, that's a question we'll tackle later. No is the answer. I have not, but we'll maybe try it sometime. Fire PA says, what was the process like dealing with weirdo attorney Lynn Wood and the process of getting legit counsel on Mark Richards? You said you didn't want to talk about Lynn Wood, so we're not going to do that.
No.
Okay, I think that's all the larger chats. Look, I know you're already past your budget of time by a long shot, so I want to allow you to give any final thoughts and then peacefully, gracefully go to bed. But you're welcome back on the show literally whenever you want. So
Perfect. Maybe we'll make it a reoccurring thing.
Anytime, every time, so many times. We'll bring Brandon on. We'll AK Jesus out. We'll have a good laugh at something. But is there anything you want people to like really know about your situation, about your life, about what's going on now? We know the past, man. We know the trial. We know the situation. All of that, thank God, is something in the rearview mirror. Though you deal with it today. But what's the one thing you want people to know about Kyle Rittenhouse going forward?
I'm just a dude. Get to know me. I'm pretty fun to hang out with, I like to think. Just learn the evidence, learn the facts. Follow me on Twitter. I'm almost at 1 million.
It's insane amounts of Twitter. You have so much influence and so many people listening to you. Use it.
So this is
I didn't
Kyle
say use
Harris.
it
Give me
well,
over
by
that
the way.
threshold.
I just said use it.
Oh, all right. But yeah, just check out my Twitter. When I get a vlog out there, when I get a podcast, I filmed a Q&A like 10 times, 10 freaking times, and just like this isn't good. So send me messages of questions you want to ask, and I'll work on putting that Q&A, I promise, together, and I'll get
Q&A. What Q&A are you talking about?
So I was doing a Q&A. I asked my supporters what they want to see, and I said I'm going to be doing a Q&A. And I did a Q&A. I answered like 20 questions, and I watched it, and I'm just like, I can't do this. It's just like, no, this looks terrible.
Well, my offer is open. Again, you have a repertoire of very, very capable mentors, much better than me. But if you ever need anything, let me know. Happy to help out with advice or whatever as far as a podcast or a talk show goes. Kyle, dude, it took a year. to get you on here. And I hate that very much. And I blame you personally for it.
Oh, my apologies.
Good. Now we're good. Now we're good. I don't blame anybody else in this world for it. But no, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you finally. This is the one interview I've wanted. I'm like, I do interviews, I guess. This is the one interview I've really wanted to do for a very long time. So thank you so much for coming on. I know you got to go, but
Well, thank you for having me, Nick. I actually, so to tell you the truth, I was sleeping. I set my alarm um, for the interview, so I woke up for the interview, but now I'm gonna go back to bed.
you know what? I'll tell you the truth. So did I. I always sleep before my show. So good
I
move.
took like a 3 hour nap. I almost slept through my alarm, but I turned on the flash setting on my phone, so whenever I get a notification, it flashes. Put it right by my face, and that's what woke me up.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you did, brother. Thank you so much. Stay safe. Enjoy your Conroe convention or your speaking engagement, and let me know if I can do anything to help.
Perfect. Thank you, Nick.
All right, buddy. Peace.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Rittenhouse, the interview I've been waiting forever to do. Very happy to do that. I'm glad we got to talk to him kind of after everything, honestly. It was interesting getting his perspective, a year later. Now, I didn't watch any other interviews that Kyle did, so I have no idea how any of those turned out. I don't really care, frankly, I don't care about other interviews. Don't really watch them. I don't know. Maybe they happen. Maybe they don't. So I have no idea, but you guys will have to compare and contrast. Like if he has changed, that's what I'm curious about. If he seems different now, a year later, than when he was brought on parade around Conservative Inc. There's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to talk to Kyle about that I really want to talk to him about, but there is ongoing litigation and there's potential litigation in other areas. And so necessarily, I'm never here to interrupt someone's lawsuit. I'm never here to mess with the reality of legality. And I talked to Kyle about a couple of those things. So I knew kind of some areas that we couldn't go to, and he mentioned some areas that he wasn't comfortable going to on the show. Hopefully someday we will get to talk about those things. I would love to really delve into questions of Lynn Wood. We got some hints about the post-acquittal tour and some of the stuff that was said out there. There's questions about the people who have defamed him, where we're still within the statute of limitations. They may be able to be sued. People who major media personalities who still called him a murderer after the fact, and what that looks like and how they do that. So I am very happy to have done this interview, and I'm very, very happy to have everybody on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, all watching. I wanted this to be on all platforms the entire time. Thank you for all of the donations. I'm going to go through all of the super chats, but what I really need to do is I need to go to the bathroom very, very badly. I didn't want to do that while Kyle was on. So if you'll bear with me for a minute, I'm going to play a song. If you're not familiar, this song sounds like my outro, but it's actually the Nick is Peeing song. So I'm going to do that real quick. We're going to come back. We're going to hit all the super chats. I will try to answer any super chats that Kyle was not able to answer. I will try and do that in sort of my impressions of those. And we'll do that, but I wasn't going to pressure him to answer things that have pending litigation and issues with his public image, because this is a guy with his whole life ahead of him. He's been thrust into a public figure, and I'm not going to impose that shit upon him when other people have. And those other people know exactly who they are. So I'll be right back. See you in just a second.
He drank a fair bit and then realized that his bladder can't handle the liquor inside, leaving us with his chair while he runs up the stairs, hoping the stream doesn't suddenly die. While we are waiting, we'll be laughing at you. The drinking along is what most of us do. The chat is united, getting excited. What you have for us when your feeling is through. When you have a small bladder and no sphincter control, freedom of liquor doesn't mean freedom from soaking your drawers. Now you're washing your hands and you realize that you've forgotten to scrub both the front and the back. Then you'll grab a quick bite, kiss your lady goodnight, and remember to thank her for all of the snacks. Whoa, water will cure your hangover. Oh, drink some when the stream is over. When you have small bladder and no sphincter control, freedom of liquor doesn't mean freedom from soaking your drawers. Soaking your
Welcome back. You know what? I hate everybody in chat. I hate all of you guys. Sit there. Oh, show's over. Show's over. You guys are bastards. Oh my gosh. Okay. I've been holding that in for a bit. There we go. So you guys have been extremely generous tonight on the chats. Thank you so much. I am going to, of course, go through all of them. We will do that. What I do want to say before people peace out, because some people don't want to stay for the chats or whatever, perfectly fine. Thank you for being here. I am covering the Murdaugh trial, the Murdaugh double murder trial from South Carolina. I'm not covering jury selection in voir dire because I don't want to end up with a bullet in my mouth. I just cannot. I'm not going to sit through an audio only voir dire of jurors. Now, what that means is I will pick up when opening arguments are. Those may be tomorrow. But it's probably going to be tomorrow afternoon at the earliest. It may actually start on Thursday. So I will start that when the court starts that. That's what I'm looking for, is as soon as the court starts up with opening statements, that's when I'm going, and we'll be covering the Murdaugh trial. I'm pretty sure I'm able to cover it almost entirely. There may be a Thursday where I have to either wrangle something or start late. We'll figure that out. When we get to it. But most of the Murdaugh trial I should be covering bumper to bumper. All right. So that's what's going on right now. For the rest of this week, I don't have any particular guests booked right now, but I may have Dick Masterson on to talk about back.buy, something we mentioned with Kyle. This is getting away from the censorship through the banking system by using direct crypto transactions in a Patreon style support system. And I'd love to talk to him about it. That's on the menu. There's a whole bunch of interviews kind of in the hopper that I need to figure out when we're going to do, but they're very much coming. I hope you guys enjoy these interviews that I do. I really try to make them different from the normal show, and also different from any other interview that anybody has. That's my goal. I don't know if I'm perfect at it, but I try to. Ways to support Kyle Rittenhouse. This is probably the most important thing to talk about after this stream is Kyle Rittenhouse's Give, Send, Go. It's givesendgo.com/Kyle Rittenhouse. It's very simple. He has gained about $1,000 since we talked about this, he's got a long, long road to go. He is being sued. If you don't know, Anthony Huber, skateboard bro, skateboard bro, Anthony Huber has, here's a link. I'm sending it to all of the places if you want to check it out. Anthony Huber, the guy who tried to kill Kyle Rittenhouse with a skateboard, his family is suing Kyle Rittenhouse for wrongful death, violation of Anthony Huber's civil rights, which is pretty interesting considering he tried to kill Kyle with a fucking skateboard, that Kyle somehow deprived him of civil rights. You don't have civil rights to assault someone ever. So we're looking to help out Kyle Rittenhouse in that whenever, if people feel drawn to doing that, I appreciate it to check. That's one way you can really support him. The other ways to support him, follow him on Twitter, follow him on YouTube, wait for him to do something with that YouTube. And then when he does, support the shit out of it. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. And I think he says, oh, I can't host a show or whatever. I need a co-host. I think Kyle could host a show. It takes something. You don't get to like just yakking at a screen for hours on end at the start. At the start of mine, I sat with the legal document. The legal document was my co-host. You have to find something to help out. And any guidance I can give him on that, I will, of course, be happy to do so. But he's got Donut Operator. Oh, I'm friends with Donut and Brandon Herrera. I'm so cool, Kyle. He's got some really great people with really big channels in his corner, and he's got a lot of support. So I think he'll do really great with that. He's right. What real job, regular job, real job, normal job could he do? Honestly, anywhere he goes, if he's got a public face to him, can you make him a salesman? Someone walks up, you're Kyle fucking Rittenhouse. Get away from me. Right? Business deal. He comes into the table. Lawyer. Anything he tries to do. Doctor. Someone's going to be pissed off that it's him and not, you're going to shoot me. He's not going to shoot you, you weirdos. But whatever he ends up having to do, social media is probably his platform and public speaking. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff going for him, or we will. Hopefully he'll get some good stuff going for him, and I will be available to help at any moment. His co-host. Oh, come on. I'm not going to put a picture of Skylar up there. Skylar is a very pretty woman, and Kyle should never do another TikTok video again. Ever in his life. He should never do that. Okay. Let's start hitting these chats. I don't even know where to fucking start. USA Now says, get Amos Miller organic milk. That's at AmosMillerOrganicFarm.com. Oh my gosh. And how could I forget? Kyle defended himself in the streets. How do you defend yourself in the sheets? And by sheets, I mean sheets of paper that are bank statements. It is by going to birchgold.com/knows. Birchgold.com/knows is how one of the ways this show operates. It is a sponsorship from Birch Gold. How to protect your IRA or 401k from the Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Hubers of the world, which are actually just Joe Biden. Joe Biden equals pedophilic felon Joseph Rosenbaum, Anthony Huber, first name Joseph Rosenbaum, surname Anthony Huber, and help. Birchgold.com/knows is here to help you put strategic rounds right through the vital organs of market volatility and inflation by helping you protect your IRA or 401k with gold or silver, physical gold or silver, things that are notoriously resistant to the volatility of the market. And we've got a president in place and a Congress in place who are hell-bent on destroying any value of anything you've ever made. Why? Why do they do this? By the way, we don't talk about this. We don't talk about this. But why do they want to destroy what you've got? Because the United States runs on a consumer-driven economy, and savings is the death of the spending platform developed by politicians. Politicians need you to spend. That is their platform, to spend, to keep you at near zero savings, or even in negative assets as possible, and to have you buy things, because that is how the economy runs according to them. Even though the economy can run perfectly fine without that, that's what they want it to be. That's where they focus their energy. It is about keeping you down and potentially dependent on the government at any moment. Birchgold.com/knows is here to help liberate you from that. Liberate your retirement from these greedy motherfuckers. Go there, click the green button, get the information you need to make the right decision for you. I can't make it, only you can, but you should have as much influence as possible over that. Much information as possible on that. So there we go. That's the Birch Gold. Again, great sponsor to the show. They just let me call Joe Biden a pedophile felon. So that was fun. There you go. Perfect. Slaglass says in Kermit voice, Kyle, balls or no balls? Actually, judging by your TikToks, it's obviously no balls. Run away from that as fast as you can and keep a good grip on your gun, not the pedo shooting one. Damn. Pie Baker says, Kyle, how did your pee feel after sending a map to be judged by God? Was it tingly? Was it warm? I made a strategic decision to not read that super chat to Kyle. I didn't want him to have to deal with that one specifically. Most of them were actually pretty decent, but that one I was like, I don't know about that one. USA Now. Oh, wait, we read that one with the Amos Miller organic milk. Over on Locals, Naughty86 says, perfect time for the Rittenhouse interview. I do not drink during the week, but it's Australia Day tomorrow. Yes, we exist. Not true. So I'm 4 beers and 3 whiskeys deep. Great interview. Hey, thank you. Survival says, don't give Kyle a Recato Law shirt. If he gets photographed in it, you'll have to represent him for free, or else conservatives will call you anti-Second Amendment. Oh, I should give him some other lawyer's shirt and force them into that. Matt himself says, I hate thinking this way, but I feel like all the coaching Kyle went through to get through the trial has changed him. As a kid that would have detailed emotional dialogue to his answers to questions, hope this interview changes my view, but I feel like we will never know who Kyle was prior to the entire event. I think it's tough. Yes, I'll read the fuck, marry, kill super chat in just a second. And I do think that there were a lot of answers that Kyle, they felt very rote responses to them. They weren't really answers to the questions. And I hope one day we get to break that shell. And I get it. Ongoing litigation. He's being sued. And his livelihood is still in jeopardy. And may be for a very long time. So until that gets sorted out, I don't like it, of course. I want the answers. I want the juice, right? I want to squeeze and get the juice. But I'm not going to jeopardize him. Rita Castillo says, nice ring, Nick. What, this one? The silicone one? I mean, it's very blue. I like it. It's a stand-in wedding ring. My other wedding ring I bought when I was a little bit thinner, so it's kind of tight. But also, this is nice for doing a little bit of working out, which I do a very minimal amount of. But it's nice to not have a tight ring on your finger there. Or is it this ring? This ring is made of meteorite, which is cool. I got that for my anniversary. Good night, Tennessee Marine. Thank you. Dude, you sent way too much money tonight. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Brosif Josenbaum says, fuck, marry, kill, Rosenbaum, Grosskreutz, and Huber. Okay, let's take let's take a logical approach to this. You got to kill Rosenbaum because he's a pedophile. You got to do that, right? So that one's got to go. I think you have sex with Grosskreutz, even though his reach around game is going to necessarily be weak. Right? We cannot ignore that the Grosskreutz reach around is something to be desired. It leaves something to be desired there. But I think all around, he's livelier than the other two. Probably a better choice. And then finally, Huber is definitely the marriage material right there. Because I think of all three, Huber had the most money with $7. And when he died, you probably got the most out of that, that will of any of the others. That's my thinking on this. So you have to kill Rosenbaum, the fucking pedophile. You have to have sex with Grosskreutz. And I know the reach around game is going to be a downside. And then Huber, again, more money than the other communists. At least you could sell his skateboard. And that seems to be marriage material right there. So there you go. That's my logical thoughts through that. I hope you guys agree. The Field says the search for 5-year-old Kyle Doan has moved to a limited basis after the weekend push. Prayers are appreciated. On a happier note, I suggest Drex for a co-host. What with Rittenhouse? Oh my God. Can you imagine? Drex on a podcast with Kyle Rittenhouse? His eyes would be... This is how he'd look the entire time. Hey, Kyle, let me tell you about these... Kyle, now you know about these German Shepherds. You know what they're doing. You know they got these retarded frog babies. Like, could you imagine? All day. That's all it would be. Oh, man. It'd be great. I'd probably pay to see it, to be honest. Oversoul says, I wish North Carolina Cherokee County SWAT had Kyle's discipline. 13 Evil Cow says, Kyle, please say fuck Trudeau. The J Forte, Nick, will all have to answer to our maker. That's true. We will. Occupant 42 says, defending yourself doesn't make you a hero. Defending yourself with the restraint you displayed makes you a good man, which may be better. Ooh, damn. I'll have to send that one to him. Salami Slices, would you rather smash the golf ball-headed lady cop from Tennessee or Greta? I'm going to go with the lady cop from Tennessee. Because you don't want to say anything about Greta because we saw what happened to that one guy. Fleet Lord Advar says, good. Kyle, best wishes to you and loved ones. S Fox 105. So the place that showed more people the truth of his trial is this far down the road. He should be thanking Rekieta for covering this. And then he buries the hatchet with Black Rifle Coffee Company. Who is his handler? We're not going to talk about who his handler is. Was. We should say was. Kyle doesn't have handlers anymore. And there may be a reason that this interview took so long to get. Let's just leave it at that. How's that? No One to You says, the real question is, how many Mo doors have you acquired and would you consider a Bugatti limousine? Zarindu, hey, Kyle, greetings from New Zealand. I hope you're doing well. If you're ever down under, there are quite a few Kiwis who'd gladly shout you a beer. War Boss Morgor Teeth Smasher. Kyle and Nick, are you a Gorker or a Morker? Clearly Gork. What's your favorite kind of Daka heavy bolter? And just remember, do red ones go faster? Of course, Orcs is best, crump the rest, wah. And then he also says, for Nick, I've been watching since Maddox. Subbed on my other account since just before the Vic stuff. Custodes are for short-armed weirdos. Now for my grift, I paint orc on camera sometimes. That's a War Boss, Morgor, Teeth Smasher. Dude, I've got a Death Dread to paint with Lady Rackets, and I don't know where to even start. Mad Pierre says, don't know if Kyle will be around when you get to coach class. Regardless, I'd like to commend Kyle on his trigger discipline. Well done. All the best to you, Kyle. You too, Racket. Say thank you. And Earth Grandak says, does Kyle like his foodies with balls or no balls? He never answered. He never answered. Urs8243 says, first of all, Kyle, that was amazing shooting. It was so damn fast and accurate. Under that pressure was impressive. My question is, how cool is Laura Logan? Please don't destroy my image of her. Oh, I didn't see that one. I didn't ask him. Sorry. Quixotica. Hey, Nick, loving the stream. Hope you don't mind if I pay you to shill my wife for my wife's small business. It's just a little thing. myshopify.com. She makes fun accessories and jewelry. Check it out. So that's it's just a little thing. myshopify.com. So I hope you guys check that out and enjoy. The Jackals of Terra Argentum says, you handled the situation you were in better than most people twice your age would have. Whatever else comes from this, you're a damn hero. I didn't want to ask Kyle too much about the shooting, like specifically. One, because he has ongoing litigation. He's like, yeah, I put bullets. I put steel on target. That I don't know that clip plays well with the ongoing litigation. So that's why I didn't really get into the shooting questions too much. Salty O Berserker O Brigade says, hey, Ricada, ask Kyle if he knows Salty Cracker. I'll ask him. Link to the future. I'd like to know if Black Rifle Coffee was told by the bank they needed to support CP. Would they have come out in public support of molesting children? Someone should ask them that. So I know what Kyle said about Black Rifle Coffee. Here's what I'll say about it. Whatever has happened in the past, in the present, with Black Rifle Coffee, y'all some bitches, fam. Y'all some bitches. And I'm not going to back down from that position. Oh, our bank was going to shut us down if we didn't put out this exact statement. Get a new bank. Tell the world what your bank said. Support would have been through the fucking roof. This idea that Black Rifle Coffee was going to be completely debanked and their business destroyed if they didn't issue a specifically negative statement about Kyle, doesn't pass the smell test for me. Now, maybe they said, if you come out in full-throated support, we'll have to reassess your accounts or whatever. And that's when you start looking for a new bank immediately. But it doesn't pass the smell test for me. I don't buy it. Why didn't they say anything? By the way, guys, we've had some pressures from higher end financial institutions, we'll say, that they've done that. They've had a year to say this. They've never said it. Never said it. I don't buy it, personally. Now, look, I'm not commenting on Black Rifle Coffee and Kyle's relationship. They can have a great relationship. He can forgive them all he wants. I'm going to say it. And maybe they're a great company. I don't know. I don't drink coffee, so I don't care. Y'all some bitches. And I understand if that means you'll never sponsor my show. I'm okay with that. But dude, a lot of people have dealt with that. A lot of people have been through the ringer from the banks, and a lot of people still stuck by what they believed. And it kind of looked like you guys didn't want to stick by what you believed, or you didn't believe it. And I have a hard time believing. Like I legitimately have a hard time believing their story. So ZMO 9090 New York Post. Punishing Flyers Ivan Pavrov would have infringed on rights. Wait, what the fuck is this? Punishing Ivan Provorov for Pride Night's stand would have infringed on his rights. I don't know. Oh, this is the dude. This is the hockey player who refused to wear a pride jersey, whatever. He's like, fuck off. Yeah. Yeah, I'm planning on covering that story. Maybe we'll cover it tomorrow. I got some stuff to do. ZMO9090 says, "Are you and your family safe now? Name your 4 goals for the next 5 years. Please be safe and just FYI. Thanks and gig 'em." That was to Kyle, not to me. But my family is also safe. Thank you. Earth Grand AC says, "All food is matter. Food is with balls or no balls are both great." No, stop it. No one to you says, "Say what again?" Kyle, I double dog dare you. ZMO says, "Kyle, keep it up, man. I missed what show you are doing to replace the Southern Star Brewery. It's in Conroe, Texas. It's on the 26th of January. So technically tomorrow. Technically, what, Thursday? Is it Wednesday now? Yeah, technically Thursday. Manville P says, "Kyle, cooking videos, please." ZMO says, "What are the expectations from your view of him being able to win lawsuits against others for libel or slander of his person?" They're really low. The libel and slander lawsuits, calling him a murderer. I know the idea is that, oh, well, he was acquitted. Therefore, calling him a murderer is is a per se defamatory statement. I get the idea. I think the practicality of that, people say murderer colloquially all the time. And if they do, they are going to, if they say it colloquially and they just go, we didn't mean it in the real, like he murdered someone sense. He killed people in an unjustified way. We think no matter what the court says, people get to probably do that. It's unfortunate, but people probably get to do that. So sucks. Socially wrecked. Go to the most recent HuffPost article about Kyle. Go down to the comments. I don't know if I want to do that. Huffington Post is garbage. Acquitted killer Kyle Rittenhouse thinks woke mob is reason his latest event is canceled. This is on HuffPo. Let's see. What do these comments say? Do they even have them anymore? Did they just delete them? I don't even have, they don't even show comments on this thing anymore. So, okay. Good job. Matt himself says, "Kyle is a kid that was thrown onto the social world. Kyle hasn't been able to strive the social world. I feel bad for him. The questions we want answers to can't be answered. His image of the world is limited. Kyle seems great. We're just missing him being understood on these topics. I hope we get an interview with Kyle with an adult thought once his thoughts make adult sense." No, I think that'll be good. I think when Kyle is no longer under the thumb of a lawsuit and all of that shit, that's a very real possibility. Zimzilla says, "Shekels for getting this interview together. Much respect and goodwill sent Kyle's way." Again, I know people like thought that this was something that I was like, I don't know, bombing or like something on getting Kyle on. I've been trying for a year and I didn't have contact with Kyle until very recently. Kyle had layers of people between the outside world and himself. And let me just fucking say it. Let me just fucking say it. Those handlers kept Kyle from this show. In fact, let me double say it. One of those handlers emailed me to say, "Oh, no, we definitely didn't." Bruh. Bruh, 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 bruh. The moment Kyle is out of their control, the moment that they're gone, I'm openly messaging with Kyle. The entire year before that, couldn't get a message to him at all. The only time I talked to Kyle before that was when I was with a mutual friend who called him personally while I was there. Couldn't get a message through to him. Oh, it wasn't us. All right. All right. There are people who handled that kid and exploited him, and it's really gross. He won't say it because he's classy. I'll say it because I could see it. I thought Kyle Rittenhouse was exploited by Big Conservative Inc. Same shit that Crowder's talking about in a way. And I think Kyle was exploited by the people close to him to endear themselves to Big Conservative Inc. Now, why do you think those people would want to use Kyle Rittenhouse to endear themselves to Big Conservative Inc.? We just learned something, didn't we, about Big Conservative Inc. And what we learned was Big Conservative Inc. has hundreds of millions of dollars to throw around. Why would you want to be in the good graces of Big? And I'm not talking about Daily Wire. Don't limit this to those weirdos at Daily Wire. Let's talk about real Big Conservative Inc., which includes Daily Wire, of course, and a whole bunch of other players, including Fox, including everybody. Why would you want to endear yourself to them? 9 zeros, bruh. 9 fucking zeros. There's a lot of wiggle room in 9 zeros for little old me, isn't there? You want to know why? You want to know why someone would use Kyle? 9 zeros. And I'm sure that person is watching, by the way. Peace, brother. I wish you well. I don't believe you. I'm sorry. I just don't. I wish nothing ill upon you. I'm not going to drag your name through the mud. People probably already know who you are anyway. I just don't believe you. Flufferboy 2004. Origin story of my name. Go. Well, dude, we know what it was. You were at Thunder from Down Under and they needed some help. Kenthis15 says the Kenosha Kid. How much did Matt Best have to pay you for a picture at SHOT Show? Oh, and people ask me how much I paid Kyle for an interview. I don't pay for interviews. I don't pay for any interviews. I don't pay. If someone wants like money for an interview, I don't really need to interview you. That's not a thing. I don't charge for interviews, and I wouldn't pay someone for an interview on a YouTube show. So cheers. Kyle came on for absolutely free. He doesn't get a cut of anything. That's why I'm asking people to support his GoFundMe. That's why I'm asking people to support him in whatever his endeavors are. And the moment he has a YouTube channel that is actually producing content or whatever he's going to do, I'm going to pump the shit out of it. I'll help him as much as I possibly can. But there's no way I'm paying someone for an interview. That's insane. Give, Send, Go. You're correct. I said GoFundMe, but it's Give, Send, Go. Flufferboy says, Kyle, my uncle is an Aggie. He's also very successful. Best of luck to you, man. Backgoat, welcome to Paralegal. Thank you. Chandler's H Barbecue and Ice says, I was attacked by my parents once and defended myself, but I was lucky enough to have my girlfriend, her mother's land and pool. Couldn't have done it without them. Ah! Smiley says, hey, Kyle, this is a little random, but has anyone ever mentioned you kind of look like Gibby from iCarly? Aside from that, wish you the best, dude. You got to, aside from that one, too. Man, that's not cool. Mr. Fat Ass, thank you. Patrick Stewart, are you interested in pursuing a career in the medical field or in Second Amendment law? Or are you trying to stay away from courtrooms for the foreseeable future? It looks like his career is in advocacy for the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. Designation says, tell David Hancock to suck a baldo. Well, David, suck a baldo. That's what the chat wants you to do. K Pitts says, Rittenhouse, more like cleaning house. Dennis Pettit. Kyle, what's your thoughts on shooting now? Do you still enjoy going to the range, plinking? Are shooting sports forever a sore spot for you? I mean, he went to SHOT Show, so I would think maybe he doesn't hate shooting things. Nick Flanderson, not all leftists are born, some are made, hence Gage Grosskreutz. Singular BDC. Oh, God. I didn't get the joke. That's a good joke. That's a good joke. Singular BDC. Hi, Kyle. Much love and support from Mexico. Time to go get millionaire from everyone who lied about you. Te amamos, cabron. Anna P. Kyle, have you seen any of Nick's lives of your trial? It'd be great to content to see you react to it. He has. But that is a good idea. Stephen Richards, are you an Aggie now? Just to warn you, once you get the ring, you can't escape the cult. He's not an Aggie. He just likes A&M. You should give some love to Corono. He's back. Corono is all the love ever. Even if he is slightly shorter than me and has narrower shoulders, I still love Corono. That guy's fantastic. Johnny says, Kyle, what happened to your optic during the trial? It wasn't on the gun during the trial, but was in Kenosha. Falcon Laser, how much could Kyle sue National Geographic for publishing The Good Kings by Karakuni, a book that claims he killed black people? Probably nothing. Probably nothing on that one, honestly. Lofty Pixels, what did you think when Binger pointed the gun in the courtroom? He covered that one. Very good. Eric Miller, has Kyle had any issues buying a firearm after the trial? Oh, that's a good question. He shouldn't, but he may. Doom Guy 91, Kyle should go on Sitch and Adams show. They also covered the trial extensively and fought back on all the misinformation from the mainstream media. Jehovah's Thickness. Kyle, can you please give a shout out to my dear friend Jason? Wait, Jehovah's Thickness? No man has narrower shoulders than you, nor a bigger nose. Corono has narrower shoulders, but he doesn't have the bigger nose. Ken this 15, Rittenhouse, the fitness house, absolute champion. TJ Ventura, Kyle, how did you handle sitting there waiting for the jury to come down? I feel like I was going to puke and I was just watching. Cody Bear, hey Nick, just wanted to congratulate you on getting the interview. Hey, thanks, Cody. We got to talk again soon, brother. 200 Watt Studio says, Kyle, what's up with David Hogg? David Hogg's a fig. I thought we all knew this. He's a piece of garbage. TJ Ventura, Mark Richards said in an interview that he had a discussion with you about how a guilty verdict may put your life in danger while in prison. Is that true? How did you react to that? God bless you, bud. Well, I didn't see this one because it wasn't at the $20 level. And I know that sounds snobby, but I had limited time with Kyle. We actually went over by almost an hour of what he said he had. So I'm really appreciative of that. But I also probably would have glossed this question. I don't want to get into specific communications that Kyle and Mark Richards had because attorney-client privilege, we don't want to pierce that. Max Mura, Kyle, if need new girlfriend, come to Japan. As college exchange student, many waifus, Max Mura will set you up. Sorry, no guns here. Need to make your own. Nicole says, can you bring up 4 Doors More Horse? We did, Nicole. That'll always be in my top 10 Instagram names. We know the DA brought that up intentionally. Lol, massive backfire on his end. Peace. Hey, Kyle. Hashtag much respect. Faceless Man, here's $5 for Nick. Make sure 250 of this gets to Kyle. He deserves to get some of this grift. I'll tell you what, here's my deal. When I get to meet Kyle in person, this is an inevitability at this point, unless I die or he does. When I eventually get to meet him in person, I will buy him. He'll be over 21 at that point. All of the liquor. If I can't buy him all of the liquor, I'll buy him a bunch of ammo or whatever. We're going to have a good time and have fun. Or I'll buy him the biggest fucking steak on the planet. Drop Barracuda. Kyle, any target real or perceived is not your fault, nor can they be correctly attributed to your actions before, during, or after the trial. There are some bitter, unwell people out there. Correct. Mortimer Duke says, Buck Finger. Samael says, the real question is, what's Kyle's opinion of anime? He does not watch anime. He is a healthy young man. Big Rig 0485. How's your family holding up through all this? What made you start liking the Argo Americans? I don't know what that means. Drop Barracuda. Kyle, if you have a neutral place I could send it, I'd be happy to send you a side of all natural grass-fed Texas beef. If Kyle gets a P.O. box, I'm going to tell him if he gets a P.O. box to let me know right away, and I'll gladly direct people to it. Aurora Uplinks. Kyle, what is your opinion on The Force Awakens, Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker? Inquiring minds would like to know years worth of opinions. Anna P. Nick, I'm behind and trying to catch up, but if Binger sues you, you better live stream that trial. If Binger sues me, oh my God, that'd be a disaster for him. That'd be funny. Beastie Man 420 says, this is awesome. Bob Gable. Nick, did you see the Chicago video of the execution of at least 3 people? Any thoughts, Kyle? Nick? No, I did not see that. I'll look for it. Mr. Perfect. Nick should have did this whole interview in his Richards voice. That would be really tiring to do. It gets hard to hold an impression for longer than a couple lines. Tank Imperator. Question for you. Did you find God after the events, or were you always a Christian? Cheers from a Danish veteran. I wish you all the best. I got the impression he's always been a Christian. That's my impression that I got. Polaris says, Kyle, you suffered enough. Why would you subject yourself to the Zeminski amateur porn? I don't even want to see. He's like, oh, I'll send you the guy. I know the guy that's got the links. I'm like, oh, Christ. I don't want to see Zeminski amateur porn. Does it have that Zeminski chick? She looked like a fucking hobgoblin. Want to see these tits? No, I don't, bitch. Put them away. Put yourself away. God, go in a cage. Crusader says, I know it's not easy doing what you did even in defense, but did it help you afterwards learning what a horrific monster Rosenbaum and the rest were? Gage Crosscrits is missing bicep. Damn it. That would have been good to read on stream. Just hoping to hear Kyle or Nick read my username. Lol. So glad you made it through this and getting to live a semi-normal life. Tara Rayner, Kyle, as a mom, watching your mom was heartbreaking. How is she doing? And I wanted to hug you both when the trial was going on. Still waiting to launch my Grambo panty design. Nick, love from Canada. Weeb Addict 64, Kyle, I have to say that friend put a big ask from you to stand guard for his shop with a gun as a 19-year-old. 17-year-old. Other than that, you've done more work for the justice system on real violent criminals. Chris Clements, do you believe Jesus pulled the trigger? Just teasing. On a serious note, you showed far more restraint than I think most humans are capable of. Cheers. He did. I legitimately, like, I know it's kind of weird, and if you're not a believer of some sort, you may not get this. But I think the hand of God was on Kyle that night. Like, I really do think there was divine intervention there. And if you don't, that's cool. If you don't believe in spirituality, if you don't believe in intervention, if you don't believe in any of that, I'm with you 99% of the times. But on that one, I'm like, fuck, man, that seemed like someone was protecting this kid that night. Doom Guy says, how do you handle the massive backlash from the media and all the numerous NPCs on Twitter and other social media platforms, as well as in real life? He seems to be handling it pretty well. He's got an almost 1 million follower Twitter account. By the way, if his handlers had not gotten in the fucking way, Kyle should have a 1 million subscriber YouTube channel making tens of thousands of dollars a month. And the fact that they didn't let that happen makes me fucking sick, because they got money and influence off of him and he didn't. Imagine having 1 million Twitter followers and 80,000 YouTube followers. Fucking imagine that. For the record, just so everybody knows, I have 476,000 YouTube subscribers. And it took me all of the work in the world to have 145,000 Twitter followers. That's the way it should be, because one platform makes money and the other platform takes time. Having 1 million Twitter followers, maybe he can monetize that eventually. But if it was the other way around, if he had 80,000 Twitter followers and 1 million YouTube subscribers, dude'd be a millionaire. He'd be a fucking millionaire. And these people took it from him. They took that from him. Well, it won't look good to talk about XYZ. Kyle's never talked to me about this, by the way. I've had this opinion forever from day one. I said, make me your social media manager. The day he was acquitted, make me your social media manager. I will make you $1 million immediately. I will make you fucking rich. Now he has to fight like everybody else because the momentum, the trend is gone. I'd have made Kyle $1 million in the first year. It's crazy. It's crazy that they did that to him. Aurora Uplinks, considering the media's reaction to Joker, how do you think they would react to a movie about a lower classes coming after the upper classes and big businesses in a Red October style revolt? That was Batman Returns, right? Or whatever the Batman was with Bane. That's what it was all about. Phantasmagorical, I'm proud of you, Kyle. You're pretty okay too, Nick. Just kidding. Much love to you both. Juki, paralegal, thank you. Thank you. 1 month anniversary. Simply Helen, Kyle, I cried with you when they announced the verdicts. Live your best life and stay exactly who you are. Teresa Klinkenberg says, love that you're doing great, Kyle. God bless you. Kenthis, 15. I bought a 4-door sedan in college because I wanted to be able to carpool more friends. 4 doors, more whores is such an easier explanation. Yes. Kyverdam Binger shouldn't have gotten brazen with Schrader. Unix EDU, I love Jesus, but folks, Kyle is my hero. Doom Guy 91 says, how much anger did you have to conceal when you were cross-examined by Fluffer Boy? That's a good question. Matt Acacia, Kyle, during cross, when you started hyperventilating, what was going through your head at the time? Were you having flashbacks, or was it more of a realization of what's at stake? I didn't see this question. Again, I was doing the 20 plus rule, but that's a question I might have skipped, actually, because Kyle got a lot of criticism for his reaction on the stand, which I thought was bullshit. He's also got pending litigation. I don't want anything he says about that hyperventilation to come out and be used against him. Michael O, welcome to Paralegal Status. Micah P, I thank God they didn't have screenshots of you playing No Russian Mission from Modern Warfare 2. Basil 2 says, as much as I support the man, an Aggie is more than I can stomach. The man should have hit Texas Tech or be a Red Raider. We'd love him. He's not an Aggie. He just likes A&M. Arno09, having not seen him before this, I can say my opinion of him hasn't changed. He still seems like a hopeless optimist who only wants to be useful in this world. Tell him to film him cooking. I'd watch. Kyle Rittenhouse cooking channel. There you go. Chaim S says, what's your take on Steven Crowder versus the Daily Wire? If you're talking to me, several videos, and there's more videos coming out very soon. I've done the live streams, and my editor has been clipping those live streams into content. So you can check. We put out a Steven Crowder's first video today. Tomorrow will be the Daily Wire response, and then we should have another one. Gamer Valine says, I just saw the funniest thing of Nick telling someone they hate jerk to him. It's okay, Kyle. Not every adult has big dick energy, but most are vets in Arizona. Aurora Uplinks, isn't it racist and segregationist to expect white people not to go around to low-income areas or areas where peoples of color are? Isn't that what the rich do? Avoid the poor? I mean, who are we if we fear each other? Snowflake Melter says, Kyle, it's so good to finally see you on Ricada. Your case has been an inspiration. I followed it the best I could. By the way, you're not fat. Lauren Bonds is fucking fat. Tubor Lucas. Is that you, Lucas? You beautiful bastard. Doom Guy says, did you feel like a badass when you crossed that state line? Snuggle Struggle spent nearly 2 years in hostile fire. I've seen how people act under attack. Kyle, you never put others who were not a direct threat in jeopardy. Unix EDU Aggie Law School here in Fort Worth, Cowtown. Become a good lawyer, not like rackets. Make a difference, yo. Philip Vecchio, this is going to happen to someone. Kyle's one of the hundreds of people with guns protecting property nationwide. He just lost Antifa musical chairs. Inset Hurdle 88. How's Kyle liking CSTAT? My time there was awful to make many take advantage of students, but I remember watching his trial in my apartment when I was going to Blinn. What's your degree in? He mentioned business degree. Okay. Pinochet's helicopter tours. Everyone knows the right's more keen on targeted assassinations as opposed to mass violence. The guilty FBI can exonerate themselves through discovery. Bandit 848. Did the almond milk bead up? Kinda. It just doesn't go into the Oreo. It's weird. It doesn't make sense. I don't like it. Sage says, rackets, I take it back. Throw this man in jail. How dare he trash whole milk? That was the most disappointing thing was Kyle Rittenhouse's take on whole milk, if I'm being honest. Of all things he could have said, well, I don't like how whole milk tastes. Are you even a man? Man of low moral fiber says, hey, Kyle, we all love you, buddy. Thank you for obliging Rosenbaum and his request. The world is a better place in his absence. Berserker Kyle, what was it like? And what were you thinking when Schrader kicked Binger in the balls over mentioning your Fifth Amendment right to silence you and wishing you had your AR at CVS? That's an interesting question. That's a good question. Not Alfarius Nick, stop corrupting this precious boy or do it more, whichever is funnier. Oldest school, God be with you, Kyle. Backgoat at chat, congrats. You made Kyle uncomfortable. Ridiculous. Adulting outside the box is follow God. He will guide you. Necro C, don't let your girlfriend lock her around you. That's how they trap you. Also, can Kyle wish my very straight friend, Mr. Abstruse, a Merry Christmas? No, he can't. He cannot do that. Drop Barracuda. Just to maneuver past the dolls with balls questions, the offer for a side of all-natural grass-fed Texas beef is real if there's a place to send. Sam A.L. says balls or no balls. Fantastic Mr. Knox. Watching your trial was wild. They try to twist their side against you was ballsy on them, but it's good that you are clear to the charges. Good to see you're doing well. As for biceps, man, lol. Adulting outside the box. All Kyle needs today to answer is I can neither confirm nor deny the answer to that question. Doom Guy says, was the jury as annoyed as we were at the prosecutor's antics throughout the trial? He kind of indicated that they were on his side from the get-go. Noob Nut says, how does Kyle like his Chris Chan unclit or no unclit? Gross. Not Heisenberg. We love you, Kyle. Best to you. Peace. Welsh Republic Podcast. Keep up the great work you're doing, Nick. You are a fantastic YouTuber. As for Kyle, God bless you, bro. You're a future president in the making. You give a lot of hope to younger generation. Respect. Kentis, I love Kyle, but his interview on Crowder was incredibly cringy. Poor kid didn't know any better. Dapper Dave says, Nick, in the future, let Kyle know not to answer when you are not serious with a question. It's supposed to be a joke. He's very limited in what he says. I think he was fine. Lito Enchanted says, show's over. Fuck you, Lito. Fuck you, Lito. I love you. L Seeds is great interview, Ricada. Awesome interview you're doing. The dog works, son. Aurora Uplinks. People say Kylo shouldn't have been in the public streets, just walking around. Maybe, I think he means Kyle. Maybe everyone else shouldn't have been in the streets burning downtown. Correct. Sarah Marie, we X should chase Donut up on that movie. Patrick T, status quo is good for you guys. Eric Hilarity, any thoughts on why all this anti-2A legislation is being pushed seemingly at the same time over multiple states, ATF, etc., because of the Supreme Court decision? That's why. It's very simple. Because of Bruin. Jesus Davila, thumbs up. Back at you, brother. Amy Leval says, Nick, what part of Texas are you from? By the way, your nose is just like my dad, lol. I'm from Houston, the northeast side of Houston. Specifically, I lived in Inwood Forest Village. Actually, here, we'll go. I lived on Cold Lake Street. I went to Inwood Elementary School, and then I went to Stovall Elementary School after Inwood, once it was built. I don't think it's called Stovall anymore. But I went to Inwood, lived in Inwood Forest Village on Cold Lake. There you go. Right by West Gulf Bank and Antoine. I would have gone to Eisenhower High School, but I didn't stay in Houston. Okay. Zemo 9090 says, Ricada Law, you've seen the videos we've seen. Would you have done anything different? What, from Richards and Sharafacy? Yeah, tons of things different. I think the facts and law were on Kyle's side from the get-go, but I would have taken different approaches. I would have objected more. I would have done different things. Sure. Survival says, you say is better mentors, but you also want to write a book about the art of doing social media. Guide this young man. Daily Wire should have called you. Black Rifle should have called you. Make him call you. Inward Forest Village? Yes, actually, pretty much. Let's go to Odyssey here. Wanriavka says, hello, Nick. I still see women and minorities in your Odyssey chat. I want to save space for gentlemen gamers like me. I hate the boomers on Rumble and hate the thirsty boomers on locals. Can Odyssey please be my safe space? Also, come. No, there is no safe space for you. Malik Fox and bro exited out. I think Black Rifle Coffee was lying to Kyle. The reason being what you said exactly. Not even bought for a fucking second, especially when they weren't even outwardly showing support for him. It's grade A bitch made bullshit. That's where you're right, kiddo. Fat shame him, Nick. Get his ass to start working out. Also, can we keep Odyssey chat dead, please? Yeah, Odyssey chat is here for trials and specific interviews. Mostly. But I know some people liked it. I don't know. I like Odyssey. I really like them, but it kind of makes my Rumble contract conflicts with it. So, unfortunately. Fire PA says, how frustrating must it be for Kyle that you can go through this whole public trial, have every aspect of your life examined under a microscope, be found not guilty by your peers, but because a bunch of ignorant assholes in the academic community convicted him in the court of public opinion, so many doors to a normal life have been closed to him. All this on top of PTSD. Pray for this young man. I don't know how I would handle such pressure in my life. Yunin Nalo says, thanks for doing this interview on my birthday, Kyle. I was stoked as fuck. Very cool. Tech Priest Alex, balls or no balls? We got to the question. We didn't get to the answer. So I'll just assume balls. And on Hamster, ask Kyle what he thought about the FBI drone footage that was hidden. Did it change his feelings about the intelligence community and surveillance? We kind of talked about that a little bit. Fire PA, what was your favorite Binger meme? And then they sent this one, which is presumably their favorite Binger meme. It's not gay if the balls don't touch. Correct? Geg, Kyle, have you had endorsement offers or other financial benefits? Or also difficulties finding work? We know you're a good dude. Hope things are going well for you. Clearly, he's had difficulties finding work. Like, that seems obvious. He mentioned that he doesn't have a ton of money. Basically, all his money gets soaked up by legal fees. It's a reality. It's the reality of the situation that really fucking sucks. LP Dirty T says, balls or no balls. Sheep City and Vic, Kyle, and Johnny's cases are the only cases I've cared about in my lifetime. They're far more important to me than most of the other trials that have occurred over the last 3 decades. Glad Kyle could make it to the show. Guitar Guru says, still didn't get an answer on how to get shredded biceps. For love of God, ask him what's the best way to get shredded biceps. I don't, he didn't answer. I asked him. Zemo9090, Ricada Law, if you have a conversation on Pavlov's situation, I want to be aware. Okay. If I do, it'll be in the video description or the title or whatever. Mary Perry 98, ask Kyle socks or no socks, then the question. Here we go. We got some more super chats to go through, of course. Peckerwood says YouTube reps like Sober Sand. Good day, everyone. Hope you're having a nice time. My kid's personal Uber driver says legit just finished rewatching the case. Great to see you. K Pitts Rittenhouse, more like cleaning house. Just cause. Fuck yeah, Kyle. Glad to have you, bro. Heart us. And then an eagle. Alaska Guns and Gears says Kyle, start with iMovie to edit, basic and easy. Willow Tiger says Kyle shot a pedo. He's an American hero. K Pitts died as he lived, trying to touch a minor. Josh, come on, nose real question time. Balls or no balls? Rebecca Coolidge, is Nick being super awkward or is it just me? It's just you, Rebecca. Big Boy Judge, Kyle, you should do a let's play of the game Acquitted. Umbrella Guy says hashtag ban Lofty. Renegade Shuriken says the Cross Crits chair incident was comedic gold. Marty McFly, post Kyle's Gifts and Go link. Herbert the Pervert, hi Kyle, use some popsicles. D What says balls or no balls, the Kenosha Kid. Tuner Watch Studio, Kyle, what's up with David Hogg? Russell Hall, let's be real, sucking is how Binger got his job. Bingo. Crusader Saracen, put on your spiritual armor. Kevin Bergman, Kyle should try rock climbing. Good rock in Nevada. Teresa Klinkenberg, love that you're doing great, Kyle. God bless you. Doom Guy 91, do you play any video games? I think he said he played Call of Duty a little bit. 200 Watt Studio, Kyle, balls or no balls on your Fuda? Russell Hall, Kyle, why didn't you just kick Binger in the nuts? That's a good question. Vanilla Honey, Binger getting trashed on gives me life. Faceless Man, tell Kyle only fluffer boys have a bedtime. He has to be up at like 6 a.m. He stayed up a really long time for this interview, so I appreciate that. Bob Piffle says desert. Oops, sorry. Alex Slusher, thank you. Russell Hall, what are your thoughts on Gates McFadden, Kyle? Oh, I heard Anna is in love with Gates McFadden. Aurora Uplinks, Kyle should get into film as a writer and producer. Doom Guy, Rittenhouse unbreaded when? I'm not doing that while he's got pending litigation. Alaska Guns and Gears, or Gears US says, Kyle, use iMovie for basic editing. Tamara Holloway, I'm alive, got 24 head stables, but I'm alive. I'm glad, Tamara. Kyan Rennell, rip Nina Infinity's career drop from real BBC. The drama. The drama. Huge Junkyard Dog says, P.O. Box bad. They will send poop, dangerous stuff. Mr. Beats, serious question for you. Is your nose big because breathing air is free? Yes. Yes. Jonathan, missed the whole thing, but bless you, Rittenhouse. I hope you have a good life. Pinochet's helicopter tours. To be clear, the second anti-Second Amendment push is only because the 1% knows. To quote DA Jim Garrison, people have to make their own justice, and eventually they will. Woo! Okay. Back over to Rumble. The most banned queen. I just want to know how old was the girl he was dating. Sometimes she looked older. Other times, the way she wore her hair and dress, she looked barely legal. But also, when is he suing people? We'll see. Mario Carter 13. If law school doesn't work out, you could always get into motivational speaking. Take it from me. You miss every shot you don't take. Ah, damn it. Johnny 21 says, never forget what BRCC did. Don't forgive them. They're just trying to undo the damage they caused. Trash company. They've been lying to everyone for years. Non-support is opposition. I agree. I agree with that. Johnny says, bullshit excuses, more lies. They've been lying for years. Fuck Black Rifle. Other people supported him and they didn't fail. They blocked all opposition and criticism instead of addressing it. Judy Brady, Kyle, for your YouTube success, let Nick help you. He is the best and a true real person to trust. Malcarian, and my favorite part was Kyle leaning over the judge to see something on the screen. The judge wasn't worried about Kyle at all. Hanley Lies says that Kyle released those doodles as a coffee table picture book called Rittenhouse Drawdown. That's a good idea. Fleet Lord Advar, I saw $20 chats on locals.com. Yep, we got those. SC Medic 71, Sugar Daddy Nick will let him drive the Mustang. Matt himself says, go through locals chats first, sir. We did go through many locals chats. There's a couple left that are all $1. ZMO 9090, thank you for doing this. And also Vodka also says, I just want to pay the dues. You did an amazing job covering the Depp and Heard. How I found you. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. We're over on locals now. And B says, Rally Against Censorship 2023. This is the Eventbrite for it. Let me copy this link and post that in the YouTube chat. This is where Kyle's going to be. It's on YouTube and Rumble and in locals again. So if you want to check that out. Latimer says, Nick, why did you immediately go to being Gage's bottom? Look, it's mutual. Sometimes you're gonna get a reach around. That's all. That one guy for 2 says, are you going to follow the Zeminski trial? It looks like it will be going to a jury trial and it starts on February 27th. I will be in Vegas on February 27th. So it depends on the jury selection. But maybe. Reformed Convict, they started the motions today. Rumble username says, don't have to ask this to Kyle on stream, but Nick, would you consider asking if Kyle wants to go to Matsuri? I could ask him, but it's not up to me to bring Kyle anywhere. So, USA Now, read $20 locals chats. I did. Sanglant, Kyle, come to locals, get that ass or cash. And I read them before Kyle left, by the way, just so everyone's clear. Reformed Convict says, God damn it. He says, offer to go on his show, knows, help the kid out. He's earned it, Rackets. Again, anything Kyle wants help with, I am happy to do so. Okay. I think we're good. I think we got the show done here. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. Oh, you know what we haven't done though? Hold on. We got a couple things to do. Don't leave yet. This show is sponsored by Field of Greens. God damn it. Fieldofgreens.com. Promo code knows. Here's mine. Here's my Field of Greens. I'm not drinking it tonight because it makes me have to pee during the shows, but it's really, really a fantastic drink. I'll probably do one tomorrow. Fieldofgreens.com. Promo code knows. Look, it's organic vegetables and fruits ground up into a powder that you put into any liquid you want. Any liquid. They have different flavors and they mix with other flavors. You can add Mio and other shit to them too if you like to add that taste factor in there. But I actually just like the taste of the water with them. I use this. This is a lemon lime one that we have for the organic energy. I use the wild berry one. Both of them taste surprisingly good. I didn't believe it. I said, you got to send me some of these things because I don't believe that ground up bullshit is going to taste good. And they do. They really actually do. I like them. I drink 2 of them every single day. So thank you for that to Field of Greens. It's not like a supplement with all these different vitamins and shit thrown in there. It's fruits and vegetables. It's 2 servings, 1 serving of fruit, 1 serving of vegetables with each scoop. That's what you're getting. That's the trick. And it's all high quality, organic, ground up content. It's not extracts of stuff. It's the actual fruits and vegetables. So it's got a lot of those, I don't know, micro nutrition ingredients. They actually have a guarantee. Listen to this guarantee. All right. If you go to a doctor for a checkup and then you have Field of Greens for like a year or whatever, and then you go to the doctor for another checkup and your health isn't improving, money back. That's putting your fucking ground up dick on the table. So you can check it out at fieldofgreens.com/knows. And like I said, I actually really enjoy them. I think they're really good. I was surprised. I thought they would taste like trash. Now, I've only tried 2 of the flavors. If one of the other flavors tastes like trash, I'll tell you. I just haven't gotten to it yet. So there you go, guys. You can check that out. They're a friend of the show, supporters of free speech, supporters of people like me, which means they're supporters of people like you. And those are the type of companies I like to do business with. So check them out if you want. If you don't want to, don't. So there you go. All right. Nimitz 42 says Aisha, Suzuka, or Melfina. I don't know what that means. That sounds like anime, and that sounds like, yeah, we're on YouTube still. Faggotry. Okay. Next we have what needed to be done a little bit ago, but I didn't.
Unbread!
Yeah, okay, we're gonna do the unbreaded crazy manifesto. We gotta pull up the manifesto. Here we go. The unbreaded is coming. Let me get my random number generator here. By the way, this show and every show is brought to you by RicadaLaw.locals.com. The locals chat is something else. It's nowhere. There's nowhere else like it on the internet. There just isn't. I don't know what else to say. It is my joy every single day. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Stab blue. Binger, stay close-minded. Binger, stay close-minded. Advance warward. Think like a penis. Don't be open-minded. That's how the unworthy man tries to program you to keep your mind vulnerable so he can mold and edit you. Keep a strong mind, solid mind, like a motherfucking rock binger. Like a motherfucking boulder binger. Don't be a tent binger, be a bunker. Don't stand out like some weak, delicate, flamboyant distraction. Don't be a tent. Don't be tentative. Be something that cannot be entered. Be something that cannot be moved or removed. Don't swayed. Don't be something that moves with the wind and the gust of the effeminate ass southern frequencies. Don't move with the intercontinental bullshit. Don't move with the fake flattery of invasive fish streams. Don't play that shit and kill it on first notice. Don't let them have any space. Don't give up enough room for their lungs to fit. Kill them all on first notice of their existence. Don't fucking eat curry binger, not even in your rap music. Don't sprinkle curry on your ghetto music. Don't sprinkle someone else's dick on your songs and call it progress. Or be surprised when they give you awards for poisoning your tribe. You binger could do without it, as they ain't you binger and they ain't us. That's all it is, binger. They will betray you faster than you think. Binger, kill them is the only policy that keeps us strong. That's all you need to know. Politics is never over until the enemy is dead. The enemy is any potential form of competition, especially any man from another tribe. Don't ever put them onto shit. Don't ever give them a boost in rep. Don't ever give them a respective attribute. I'm not clowning you, binger, or talking down. I'm saying they will pollute just by being introduced. So instead, kill them and let that be your inspiration. Instead, kill them and let that be where you get your next bread. Do not share. Pussies get opened. Binger, don't let nothing in. Binger, think like a dick and penetrate like bullets. Bingers, stay where you are at and build it. Don't gravitate towards nothing. No other man can form or progress with you. They use that word to discontinue you. Those words ain't shit. Progress comes when the enemy gets weaker. Progress for us when they pass the fuck out to death. Send them to death, my binger, every chance you get. Don't ever walk alongside your biggest threat. Don't march next to the man you should murder. Don't let them be allies. Binger, join a circus if you want to clown yourself. Binger, fight alone against them all or else. Don't expect victory you can enjoy. If you share a mission, you lose the reward. If you share a battle, you lose the conquer. The battle must belong to you if you want the prizes and rewards of war. Rewards of war don't come to those who wait. Rewards of war don't come to Binger who discuss and debate. Rewards of war don't come to Binger to learn. Rewards of war don't come to Binger who wait their turn. Rewards of war come from Binger who take. Rewards of war come from Binger who put lesser man on a plate. Rewards of war come from Binger who attack till they exhausted, rest, then attack some more. Binger who repeat the process always win. But if you wait for them to give you instructions or tell you it's time to go into a particular process, they will lead you in circles until you wander off a cliff. Binger, there is no strategy, path, or direction. Forward towards war. Advance warward. Why doubt what you want? Binger, believe in plenty of things that can never be seen. Binger, believe in plenty of things that you can't tell if you see them. Even if you're looking at them, there is no reason why Binger should not believe in his soulmate. There is no reason why Binger should not believe in paradise. There is no reason why Binger should. Unbreaded! There we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was our daily Unbreaded. If you were not ready for that, nobody ever is. All right, we got Karamachet says, you missed the last part of my tip. Are there cum stains on the Pope hat? No, there are not. Sorry, you're right. I did miss that. Okay, guys. Thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. It's been an absolute blast. And I will see you tomorrow night, probably. Maybe tomorrow during the day. But probably tomorrow night. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I will have a follow-up stream on Locals. Ricadalaw.locals.com will be Locals exclusive. I have to check if I can get in the hot tub tonight. Otherwise, I'll just do a regular stream. We'll see you guys there. Catch you soon. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost-plaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an art bag, a bow, more of the rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter, as we hear lost-plaining tonight. From the white shores of Nam to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet. There's no one who explains the thought better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed.